At Simply Safe, our award-winning home security has advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LiveGuard protection. Only from Simply Safe. Monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Now get 50% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
1084, please stand by.
We all know driving hammered gets you nailed, but did you also know driving high is a DUI? I'm Officer Badalucco with the Gilbert Police Department. Anything that impairs your driving makes you dangerous on the road. If you feel different, you drive different, and driving high is illegal. Be smart with marijuana use. Get the facts at drivinghighaz.com and spread the word with hashtag high DUI. This message is sponsored by the Governor's Office of Highway Safety.
Can I open it now?
I think you've waited long enough.
Yeah, go for it, kiddo.
I already have this baseball cap.
Not this one.
Look a little closer, sweetheart.
It's signed?
Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe it.
Do you still have that card all these years later? Do you have trading cards that's been sitting in a box for decades? Scottsdale Cards is who you want to call first. The Valley's card, comic book, and collectibles expert since 1989. Scottsdale Cards is your source to sell your trading cards and other collectibles, including those comic books you've been doing nothing with. We are always interested in buying your vintage sports cards and comic books, certified autographs, memorabilia, and collectibles. So what collectibles do you have stored away? They could be worth thousands. Call or text 480-419-2990. That's 480-419-2990. Or go to scottsdalecards.com. That's scottsdalecards.com. Or search Scottsdale Cards on your mobile phone today.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates are bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940. or online, lundmortgage.com.
The Sun Devil men's basketball season is fast approaching. Frankie Collins, who drives to the goal, dunks it in. Join the action this year and catch USC, UCLA, Washington, and Arizona when all come to Desert Financial Arena in the final year of the Pac-12 Conference. Collins, great spin move, drives to the basket and lays it in. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball, onward to victory.
KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K240U Fallon Hills at 95.9 FM.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
All right, people, settle down.
Because it's time.
Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's Thursday here on the Daily Blender. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. He's back. We also got Ralph from Harmon Solar with us. Keon Rose in the control room, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. And today is all about the football. Yes, other things have happened, but that's fine. We're going to talk football. Yes, last night, everything I predicted would happen did happen. I'm talking about how we analyzed ASU, GCU, and the Suns. And I said the Suns had the probably the hardest road ahead to continue that win streak. And, of course, they went down to the Toronto Raptors last night. But the GCU Lopes won 79-69 over UT Rio Grande. And then ASU beat the Sam Houston Bearcats as you should. And so there you go. It's not often that I end up right. So I'm very proud of my accomplishment on this one, as far as sort of predicting how things would go. But yes, thank you very much. Appreciate it. So tonight's 5:30 Seahawks at Cowboys. Sorry we couldn't flex a better game for it, but you get what you get.
What? It's a great game.
Yeah. Okay.
Don't be a hater.
You hear they flexed week 15. Seahawks are going to be on Monday Night Football now. Let's see here. I just got the email from the network, and they were saying, yeah, we've got to move a game or two, and the Eagles Seahawks game is on Monday Night Football. So Ralph, you get to watch the Eagles destroy your team on Monday Night Football.
Part of me is like, well, they're putting our team on all these tough games on national television to get humiliated. And part of me is like, good, because we're going to kick their butts anyway. So
yeah,
I just don't know which part to, I don't know.
Well, let's just see how tonight goes.
Well, yeah.
Let's just see how tonight goes before we start getting cocky about the Eagles.
I'll give my pick later.
Yeah. Well, we're not doing a pick for a couple of weeks from now. We're doing a pick for tonight. But yeah, we're going to get our picks done in the 4:00 hour. We're going to have our fantasy football questions answered in the 5:00 hour. But right now I thought, well, I'll give you a little heads up on a little bit of an injury report. Some of the things that are happening that might affect your fantasy football team. This one's important to keep an eye on. AJ Dillon and Aaron Jones did not practice yesterday, so we got to keep an eye on them. I guess Jones, he was out last week with that knee injury, and I don't know. I think what's wrong with Dillon? What's Dillon's problem? What his injury was? Hurt feelings? I don't know.
Yes, his feelings are bruised.
Oh, it's his groin. It's his groin.
Oh, is it? Oh,
yeah.
That's too bad. Yeah.
So, you keep an eye on those two. CJ Stroud, he had a full practice despite having a thigh injury. But here's the thing. I didn't even know he had a thigh injury. So that makes you wonder, is that the one he plants on, or is that, is this a serious thing? Is CJ Stroud, he's been killing it in fantasy football. So something to keep an eye on as well. Tua Tagovailoa, he's fine, and he did practice normally. He had to get some stitches. Remember that chunk of his arm that just ended up mysteriously missing, and he wasn't bleeding at all? Well, they couldn't find it, so they had to stitch his arm together, which I think kind of messed up one of his tattoos he had right there.
Oh, that's too bad.
Yeah, he had the tattoo on his arm. Well, he's not
pay a
crying
lot for a
about it.
tattoo.
Oh my God, that's so sad. I can't even. I should just go back to bed. Oh my God, are you kidding me?
Well, I'm just saying. Listen, what if you paid? I don't know how much do tattoos cost? Let's say I paid a grand.
They're a lot.
Let's say I paid $1,000 for a tattoo on my arm, and a chunk comes out of it, and they sew it together, and now the lines are like this or like this, and they're all crooked, and everything. The design is destroyed. I'd be a little bit angry if $1,000 piece of art on your wall got destroyed. You'd be a little bit cheesed about that.
See, how much is he making this year? How many?
Don't give
tens,
me the boo-hoo rich
millions
football player thing.
It's
not rich. Doesn't fix when you got a chip your arm
he
missing.
could probably have somebody fix that for him. That's not going to be a big issue.
It's going to look weird.
There's no.
And personally,
it's a tattoo.
If you don't want it to get messed up, then cover it up when you're out there playing.
Just a whole chunk of arm to be gone.
Oh my
a chunk of arm going out.
And the thing is,
this is not even news.
You're just gonna be cranky all day, aren't you?
We're just talking about how annoying it must be. It has to be said. Tua never complained about this, so just
Tua didn't complain. He just was like, "Oh, really? All right, fine." But he did say, he says, they made me get stitches and stuff. He says, it'll be a great story for my son when he grows up. I saved 3 people in the ocean. I got bit by a 500-pound shark. He says, I killed it. So Tua's got the right spirit on this.
With a small mouth.
Why the anti-tattoo thing going on here?
Yeah, Randy is anti-tattoo. He doesn't think anybody should have a tattoo.
No, that's not what I said. That's not. That is the exact.
He has been saying that for
said.
years.
What I said was, if you don't want the tattoo to get ruined and you're playing football, a sport like football, Then put some sleeves on, man.
Whoever expects your tattoo is going to get ruined playing football.
And also, you're playing in Miami. Like, sleeves, probably not the best idea.
He's not complaining. I'm just noticing. I feel bad for the poor guy. $1,000 tattoo just got jacked up. I'm giving him a hard time.
I know he's a quarterback and he puts his dress on before every game and a pair of flags.
God.
But geez, you know what? Put your sleeves on, man.
He didn't do anything. He didn't do anything. Why are we going after Tua? He didn't do anything.
He didn't
say
complain.
anything. He didn't whine.
He manned up. He was on the field, and they said, "You realize there's a chunk of your arm missing?" And he's like, "No, all right." He didn't care. I'm just the one saying I feel bad for a guy who just spent all that money on a tattoo. I can tell that doing the injury report's not going to be any good because every guy I mentioned, Randy is going to say, "Oh, boo-hoo, he's got a broken leg.
Oh, no, your femur is in half. Why don't you rub some dirt on it, Cupcake?"
Is Conrad Dobler out there again, the dirtiest player in NFL history? Is he out there with like a shank trying to take off Tua's arm? Is that what's going on?
Listen, somebody did take an actual chunk out of his arm. So some defensive lineman or whoever went back to the huddle and was like, "What the hell is this under my fingernail?" Oh my God, it's a piece of Tua.
Or God forbid, like in his face mask or something.
Somebody said, "You better put that down. You don't want to get caught with that." So Russell Wilson turns 35. So now his age today matches his IQ. So congratulations, Russell Wilson.
Wow. And you're calling me salty.
Wow.
Why are you saying that?
Russell Wilson's kind of a cringy guy, but outside of that, what did he do?
I just wanted to see the reaction.
What did Russell Wilson do?
I wanted to see Ralph.
Come on, man. Leave Russ alone.
Seems like a perfectly intelligent
He's got
guy.
enough problems with his wife. He doesn't need you too. I mean,
Captain Cringe is playing fine. He doesn't.
He's playing good right now. I mean, yeah.
He says, "I feel great. I feel young. I feel fast. I feel confident." Okay. See, now he's cringy again. Just say,
he can't help it.
Great. I feel great. I feel young. I feel confident. I feel color. I feel light. I feel God. That's where this is going.
Snap. Wow.
He's about to lose his damn mind. But he's 35 years old. Who cares? Joe Burrow, he had that wrist surgery, and they said it was a success, which is great.
That's good.
That's good.
We will not see him again this year, but the Bengals might still be in trouble. They've been giving all this information and videos and everything they can find to try to prove it to the NFL that he did not have a pre-existing condition. You know what I'm saying? Because they're upset about that. They're like, "Hey, you knew he was hurt. You should have reported he was hurt because we have some broken noses over here. A little bit upset about the fact you didn't tell us he was hurt. And it does affect things." And they said, "Well, we didn't know." They're like, "Yeah, you did. There was a video of him with a thing on his hand, and then all of a sudden there wasn't a video of the thing of his hand. What happened to that thing? And then there's another video where he's flexing his hand, kind of going like, ow, ooh, like that. And then they're like, he was masturbating and his hand was tied."
Wow.
We just had to come up with the best thing we could think of as quickly as we could.
Yeah, just in full uniform.
And then there's another thing where he's wearing a sleeve on that arm. Why were you wearing a sleeve on your arm while you were traveling?
Because he didn't want his tattoo to get messed up by some big thug out there.
That
with enormous, long
story.
Fingernails.
That should be the story by the Bengals if they want to get out of trouble for this. So, yeah, they're going to have an investigation of that, I am sure. Aaron Rodgers is saying, as you've heard, whether I play depends on health and if the Jets are still alive. Another reason why Aaron Rodgers will not play.
Yeah.
The Jets are dead.
The Jets are dead, and he tore his Achilles. He will not be playing football in the National Football League. He can practice all he wants to.
Even, brain trust LeBron James. There he is. Oh, it's amazing. That's exactly where he should be. And Aaron Rodgers is standing on the field, just standing there with the football, throwing the ball to people. That doesn't mean anything. He's not going to play. He just happened to be standing there throwing to somebody other than an accountant for the team. So anyways, I don't have a whole lot more. I mean, there are more injuries, but those are the interesting ones. I just get downright bored with some of them. If I don't know who you are, I don't care. I know the Texans lost one of their offensive linemen. That's a big deal, but I don't remember his name. But he's on the Texans. 888-368-1580. Wilbur says, "Hey, not sure if Randy was back yesterday. But to hear his voice today is great. Now, if we can simply turn Jeffrey's microphone off and allow Randy and I to have a normal man-to-man conversation about U Arizona and the Sun Devils and how bad U Arizona sucks. I'm ashamed to have ever been affiliated with U Arizona, says Mr. Wilbur. I just wish somebody could save me from myself. That was a hell of a text, and I'm okay with it.
It was a plot twist of a text. It took a turn that I didn't see coming.
Yeah, Mr. Wilbur, really, that's some insight. Yeah, that's introspection right there.
And I'll tell you what it is. It's just that they wanted the 70 down there in Tucson, and they just couldn't quite reach it. Just couldn't stood on their tippy toes. Just couldn't quite get there.
Always falling short. We're U of A.
Yeah. Stockton Slap says tattoos cost an arm and a leg. Okay, that's a 5-minute penalty right there, straight up for Stockton Slap. Fighting Wampa says Seahawks got tattooed last Thursday by the 49ers. Yes, they did. They did. How is Geno Smith doing today, Ralph?
I think his tattoo hurts. Other than that, I heard he played really well this week in practice. He was able to practice this week, and he looked really good. So
I hear he wakes up with night terrors of that San Francisco defense coming after him again.
You got to really look back at that. You guys you didn't break it down. I don't want to get into it, but
go ahead, break it down. Break down that vicious beating your Seahawks took.
The vicious beating is simple. It's simple. He got hurt on Sunday. He had to come back on Thursday and play. He didn't practice. He was hurt the 3 days he was off, so he never got to do anything to get ready for the Niners. That, on top of the fact that defense was on the field a lot, but yet shut the Niners down in the second half, which no one talks about. And they were given the worst field position all day. I mean, the Niners were getting the ball basically in Seahawks territory the whole first half. You take that away, and Seattle's defense did a great job. So I would say to all you guys out there in Fourth Dimension, F you.
Do we give you a pat on the back?
All right,
shut
Elon.
the team down in the second half after giving up 17 points in the second quarter?
Yeah, but you saw where they got the ball in the second quarter. They were basically inside Seattle territory every time. That poor defense had nothing to work with.
31-13 was the final score.
I just gave up 31. I get it, but it's like
shit. This stuff happens.
31-13. Don't make him dump delay.
I did.
Fifth letter says big money on tonight. This is hitting for sure. Go ahead and tail this. Easy money. All right. Here is a parlay he has. Let's see here. Same game parlay. He's got Tony Pollard, 40+ yards. All right. I'll agree with that.
Probably.
Zach Charbonnet, 25+ yards.
Yeah.
He's
starting. So, yeah.
DK Metcalf, 40+ yards. That is the toughest part of your parlay right there. Not because DK Metcalf is bad, because you don't know what's going to happen with the Cowboys defense, and you don't know what's going to be going on with Geno Smith. There are times DK Metcalf has a DK Metcalf day, and there's other times he ends up with a Geno Smith day. So I don't know for sure about that third part of your parlay, but putting 150 in to make $302 out, not bad. Not bad. I hope you get it. I do hope you get it. How's DK Metcalf been averaging as far as yards per game? I mean, you got to look at the bad and the good.
I mean, it depends, right? Because if they're double teaming him, then he goes to Lockett. If Lockett gets double teamed, then they go to DK. So it just depends on how the defense is playing him. So he has to look at that for his bet tonight. I have no idea what their plan is.
DK is averaging 67.8 yards a game. So.
Should get, but what was his? How many games has he had under 40? You know, if you look at the whole year for him, how many times under 40? That's what fifth letter should have been looking at.
He should look at Njigba tonight because they've been going to him more.
Njigba?
Jackson Smith and Njigba, yeah.
I just like saying Njigba.
It's a cool name.
JSN. Are we saying that right, by the way?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, good. Well, I won't make that mistake again. Kyle G says, no, Aaron Rodgers isn't really coming back, but I wish he could, as it would signal that Achilles injury is becoming like Tommy John surgery. Used to end careers. Now it's just an off-season recovery. Yeah. I mean, well, you know, there's been some basketball players who have had the Achilles, but were able to come back and play again. So,
were you asking, by the way, how many yards under 40?
Yeah, how many
games under 40 yards? 2.
Ooh, I'll tell you what, that becomes a very brave parlay for fifth letter.
The one against the Niners, and then earlier in the season against the Giants, he had 34 yards. But every other game over 40.
Walter Mellon said of Mr. Wilbur's text, that was like an M. Night Shyamalan text. What a twist. And Mr. Wilbur says, well said, Jeffrey. I didn't read the part where he calls me a jackass. I'll just keep that part to myself.
Yeah.
All right. So let's talk some NFL. What the hell's going on with Von Miller? Von Miller got away with it last time. Don't look like he'll get away with it this time. He has, I don't know if they've picked him up yet or not, but there's an arrest warrant for Von Miller in domestic violence case. I don't know all the details on this yet. But remember, we kind of had this back in 2021, but Denver put the lid on it and you never got to hear what it was all about. Well, now he's in Los Angeles, where everything is everybody's business. So it won't be long before we hear the details on this. But now you're starting to wonder, this guy might be a domestic violence dirtbag.
Well, where was he arrested?
I thought it was LA, wasn't it?
Because he's playing for Buffalo. So
Oh, that's right. Why did I think LA? Oh, I was thinking Aaron Donald. Okay, so Buffalo, New York. I don't know. It was in. Nope, sorry. Let's see. He's in Dallas right now. So if the warrant, no, this is in Dallas.
Yeah, it was Dallas. Yeah.
Well, they'll hand him a complimentary gun and send him home. Then nothing will happen. It's Texas.
But I don't know what the Bills are going to do or what the NFL is going to do. It's one thing when Von Miller's playing his best football, as crappy as that is, to be able to kind of bury things and hide it because it benefits the team. He's not even good this year. There's no team that's going to cover for that.
Well, it's not surprising they don't have him in custody. Dallas PD still trying to work out that whole JFK thing.
Yeah, they're still working around the clock trying to solve that one.
Yep.
Well, Von Miller, whatever's going on here, let me just say, Florio is a vampire. You know what I'm saying? This guy, the first headline,
he was a reporter.
First headline that pops up is Von Miller domestic violence allegation jeopardizes more than $17 million in 2024 guarantees. That was like the first thing you thought of was his oh no, the guaranteed money. How about how's the girl?
Yeah. Also, Mike Florio, not a reporter, former lawyer who decided to start a blog.
Yeah, he's a blogger.
Just to be.
Whenever you've seen him on NBC,
that's right.
on the football show on Sunday nights, he has no skin color, and I would imagine he's a quart low on.
Well, and not only how's the girl, but how's the baby she's carrying?
Are you serious?
Both of those things.
She's pregnant.
She's pregnant.
Oh my God, you're right. The warrant was for a charge of assaulting a pregnant person. That's a 3rd-degree felony right there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
All right. Well, chicken chasing dirtbag going down. I guess. Wow, that's tough.
And you could always teams will always be crappy enough to go, okay, that's a really bad guy, but that's our bad guy. I just don't even see the reason the Bills should even lift a finger to try and help him this time.
Nope. Mr. Wilbur says, is Ralph potlucking once again for Geno Smith to be the comeback player of the year? Again?
Potlucking?
I don't know.
Pot licking?
Sorry, I read it wrong. Politicking.
Maybe had some letters out of place.
No, I gotta just probably clean the glasses.
And no, I'm not, obviously.
Pot licking.
Well, that was a better text for the first time I read it.
It was.
Yeah.
That's legal out here.
Beer Nuts says, nice to see Sir is wearing his liberal outfit.
Wow. I can't argue that, I guess, right? I mean,
what makes that a liberal outfit?
Seattle,
Washington, one of the most liberal states in the country.
Oh, I thought that was Oregon.
Oregon, Seattle.
Both.
Oregon and Seattle are the same.
The Northwest.
Yes. Fair enough.
What's the difference?
Well, one state is on top of the other. We have to take a break, though. When we come back, I got more football to talk to you guys about. And don't forget, in the next hour, we're doing our picks. And in the hour after that, we're answering all your fantasy football questions. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
This is Brent Musburger's Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic. The best way to start betting smarter is to sign up for a free VSiN subscription at vsin.com/subscribe. That's vsin.com/subscribe.
NFL, the Dallas Cowboys and the Seattle Seahawks playing Thursday night football tonight at AT&T Stadium. Dallas sitting at 8-3. They are an 8.5-point favorite against the Seahawks, who entered the contest at 6-5. On the money line, Seattle plus 360, Dallas minus 460 with an over-under of 47.5. The Cowboys score 31 points per game. That is best in the NFL. And Cowboys corner DaRon Bland has 5 interception return for touchdowns this season, an NFL record. I'm Tony Desiri with your VSiN Action Update on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Did you know gas goes bad in as little as 30 days? Bad gas can cause rough starts, poor performance, or no starts at all. Stable, America's #1 fuel stabilizer, ensures quick and easy starts after storage. Stable's proprietary formula keeps fuel fresh for 2 years, outperforming competitors. Whether it's your car, truck, boat, lawnmower, leaf blower, weed trimmer, ATV, motorcycle, or anything else with an engine, when you store, start with Stable.
Jeffrey O'Brien here, and congratulations. You just made it through the hottest summer in Arizona history. No lie. The only proof you need is in that electric bill. If you don't have solar, I wonder how bad it's going to get next year. You need to call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
What's up, everybody? Nick Costos here, host of You Better You Bet, reminding you to check out the show. Now, why should you check out You Better You Bet? Because we bring you the most fun. We bring you the most insightful, the most entertaining show in the wagertainment world. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come alongside them. Plus, you'll get the best betting analysis anywhere from myself and Barkley and some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. So tune in weekdays, noon to 3 on Arizona sports betting station 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Dave Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and here is what is going on. Okay, I'm going to give you the rundown. Tonight, 5:30 p.m., Seahawks are playing the Cowboys. Then on Friday, we got 2 state championship high school football games. So there's only going to be 1 hour of the Daily Blender tomorrow at 3 p.m. But at 4 p.m., #1 ranked Yuma Catholic takes on #2 Canyon del Oro. That's at 4 p.m. Then at 7 p.m., we got #1 ranked Higley playing #2 Desert Edge. Saturday, we got another game for you at noon. It's #3 Saguaro versus #12 Red Mountain. #12. Well, I guess get hot at the right time, right? Mm-hmm. Money Radio has #1 Liberty versus #3 Centennial at 5 p.m. On Saturday. So that is what's happening as far as the high school football goes. We also have a GCU game on Saturday at 5:45 p.m. They're taking on UT Arlington. Then on Sunday, we got the 49ers at the Eagles for the afternoon game. And then Sunday night football is Chiefs and Packers. And then Monday night, we'll wrap it up with Bengals and Jaguars for Monday night football. So that is everything that is happening. Some pretty good games. I think 49ers, Eagles, I think that's the best game of the week, don't you think?
Yeah,
I think so.
Probably, you got a better one, Randy?
Maybe. I don't know.
I don't know. Panthers and Tampa Bay, is that it?
Well, I mean, I was leaning that way.
We'll talk about that when we do our picks.
I thought
later.
the Indianapolis Tennessee game is going to be a shootout.
Jeez.
I mean, it might be, but not in a good way.
Yeah. There's plenty of bad games.
There's 2 teams being really bad at defense.
I really got my eye on that Miami-Washington game. I feel like that's going to be the game of the weekend.
Why would you do that?
Mm-hmm.
Because I love you, Keon, and I've been gone. I haven't given you the business in a while.
Because if you want to see if the Dolphins could be maybe, and I don't even know if this is true, but if the Dolphins could be maybe the first team to go, 70 on 2 teams in one season, well, yeah, I suppose there's some intrigue there. But
I feel like the Dolphins are set up for a loss.
I want to know who's going to get beat worse: the Seahawks by Dallas, or the Cardinals by Pittsburgh.
I think you know that answer. In the Pittsburgh game, the Cardinals will be triumphant. I think you're aware of how badly we're going to beat those steel guys from the aluminum city.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was thinking.
Yeah.
Stockton Slap says Vaughn the Con has a nice ring to it, don't it? But seriously, first team all penitentiary. It just keeps getting better and better.
First team all penitentiary.
Yeah. Speaking of domestic violence, Tyreek Hill looks like he might get 1,400 yards this weekend, and then that keeps him on pace to get 2,000 for a season.
You think he's going to get in a game?
I didn't say he was going to get 1,400 yards in a game.
Oh,
I said
that's the way I understood it. Sorry.
1,400 yards.
I'm sorry. It's all the medicine. Sorry.
I mean, anyone else confused by what I said?
Well, they're playing the Commanders. He might actually get 1,400
right.
yards. Yeah,
Because
no.
we were just talking about
2,800 yards after this weekend.
We're gonna have a scoregami like 300 to 12. You know, I mean, it's gonna be.
No, that is
it's going to be historic. Yeah,
that is possible. Cardinals, I guess somebody explain to me what's going on. Why is Zach Ertz trying to jump off? He's requested release, and the Cardinals did announce today that they have waived Zach Ertz. Now, if he requests it, then that means you don't get the $2.5 million, right? If he says, "Hey, will you guys let me out of this," and they're like, "Sure, here you go." I mean, that's it for the money. So now he's on the waiver wire. But here's the big question. Why? Why is he jumping off?
He said it himself. He wants to go to another team that's going to be contending for a Super Bowl so he can get one more ring. I have a feeling this is his last hurrah, and he knows the Cardinals, albeit, there's still an opportunity. They haven't been mathematically, eliminated. But still is a chance for the Cardinals to win the damn Super Bowl. But listen,
there isn't.
I mean, they were kind enough to allow him to go and have another team pick him up. So I think, I don't know about you guys, I think the Eagles pick him up, and because he'll just go. He'll just go.
So. That was his former team. So
he'll go add another dimension to that offense. So we'll have
not
to
if they have to pick up the $2.5 million tab for a guy who's been hurt all this time. Why would they do that? I mean. Well, retire an Eagle here. We'll give you a contract for a day. Let's do it like gentlemen. But we're going to pay $2.5 million just so you can do that.
I don't think they have to.
If they do, there's $2.5 million left, and whoever claims it. Okay. If nobody claims him on waivers, then he can make that day deal.
I don't think anyone's going to claim him off of waivers. I think he's going to clear waivers, and then someone's going to try and pick him up.
Then they can do that.
Yeah.
Sure.
Yeah.
By the way, Randy, you guys have let go of Keontae Ingram and Ben Stiller. I didn't even know he was on the team. But
he's an actor.
Well, that was a big surprise to me that Ben Stiller was on the damn team. I thought, A, he's pretty old, and B, he's an actor. What? So.
No, I'm sorry. It's Ben Still, no R.
Well, that makes sense, Randy.
Okay,
that makes sense though. A lot of those people are acting as football players, so I think that's
ouch.
What was that score on Thanksgiving?
All your digs now after you're about to get your ass kicked. Oh yeah, what was that score on Thanksgiving?
What was that score again, Ralph?
I don't know. I didn't watch it.
I can look it up for you. It's not hard. I can do it. Here, I got you. I got you, Ralph.
It's funny because
31 to 13.
31-30, I think it was.
No. you wish.
In your dreams. There.
You looked at the wrong thing. It was 31-30.
Just another face in the crowd says, I'd like to have a shot poured in honor of one of your countrymen, Jeffrey. Dave McGowan of the Pogues has passed away. Dave McGowan, that's a guy who was great behind the microphone, even better as a print and runway model. That was a good looking man. See, that was a joke that nobody gets unless you know what Dave McGowan looks like. Pinocchio says that's how bad the Patriots season is. Sorry. That was here it is. When the first team ever flex out of Monday Night Football is the Patriots. That's it. Yeah, at least we didn't get sent down to the XFL. Oh, by the way, speaking of XFL, that merger between the USFL and the XFL, it has gone through. It is, but we still don't know what are they going to call themselves. This garbage conglomeration of two abominations that did not need to exist in the first place.
Wow.
I mean, that's a lot to put on a letterhead, so I don't know what they're going to call themselves. But yeah, they're going to launch it March 30th.
Oh boy, I can't wait.
So
telling you.
Yeah, let's go ahead and launch it on opening day of Major League Baseball.
Yeah, that's pretty much right around that time, right?
Let's just go ahead and do that.
Okay, so you just guaranteed I will not be watching even more.
Well,
Yeah.
some people might be. Some people maybe don't care about opening day.
Hmm.
But I'm pretty sure anybody who cares about football doesn't care about this either.
To be clear, it was already losing a competition against nothing. I was not watching this regardless. But now you put it up against baseball, you just guaranteed that I watched the thing that's way more interesting.
Isn't that also the playoffs for the NBA too? Or
March
is that-
30th.
later?
That's later. It's
Okay.
yeah.
But this
it's like,
does run in the middle of March Madness.
Yeah.
A little bit, doesn't it?
I believe so.
'Cause
Yeah,
I know
it'll-
the championship
it'll-
game is like in the first week of April, so March Madness
it'll be in that run of
at
yeah.
least in like the Sweet 16, Final Four type range, somewhere in there.
the championship for the Final Four is in sometime in April.
I just don't want to look at a calendar right now. So we're just going to guess wildly and be inaccurate
it's like,
with everything we're saying.
Why be accurate when we're talking about how little we want to watch the XFL?
Yeah.
Slash
Well,
USFL.
if Caleb Williams is there, you're going to want to watch it.
Will
no.
I?
If he's going to be in the
Why
in
would
this
he be on the
abomination
XFL?
league?
So he can get out of college, he can go play pro, and then he could be a free agent and go wherever he wants.
I
But
was-
XFL is not
that's
really
not pro.
pro.
And
Yeah.
also, if somebody drafts him
That's
anyway,
beer league.
they have his rights.
Why
Like
do you-
that's
why do you got to bring a bummer in there?
I mean,
Come on.
I'm just saying because that's what
Why
happened
you
to Jim
gotta put
Kelly.
a bummer in
Jim
there,
Kelly did
Leon?
not want to go to Buffalo. He did not want to go to Buffalo. They drafted him anyway, and then
First, you ruin Ralph's college football team by always picking upsets, and
Upset
now
alert.
you got to throw a bummer in there about Caleb Williams.
oh my god, I'm sorry that I brought all this realism to the party.
I love how Captain bring bummer to everything. He's like, hey, why are you bringing a bummer?
Captain bring bummer.
Oh, you're
Wow.
always crapping all over everything up in here, man.
Only when it needs it.
This needed it. You sit there and watch
Turn
Caleb
Keon's
Williams.
mic off,
We
please.
barely. I have
Oh,
control
he's
of all the
got
mics.
buttons, so.
So you
Keon,
can
turn
sit
yourself
there.
off.
Barely wanted to watch Caleb Williams play for the bad USC team he was on. You mean I'm
Oh.
going to have to sit there and watch him play for a worse XFL team? Why?
Please.
Why?
Turn the mic off.
Why would I do that?
Pinocchio, thank you for that. Hefty Lefty says, back to Philly for Zach Ertz. Blissful Hayes says, Zach, my balls Ertz is smart for requesting a trade. Wilbur says, maybe Ralph should star in the new remake of Willy Wonka. And he can create that new pot-licking wallpaper. Okay.
Who would I be? I don't understand. Would I be Willy Wonka?
No, you just be some kid licking the wallpaper.
I'm not going to be an Oompa Loompa because I'm not that smart.
I have a feeling when Ralph was a kid, he was licking wallpaper, and there was just
I licked
no
a
reason
lot
for
of
it.
things. Yeah, I'm sure I did.
602 Pats fan says, so it looks like the Mac Jones era is over in New England. A lot of eras in New England are over. But if there's news on the Mac Jones, did they send him down the driveway?
Not officially, I don't think.
Is that just a comment? He just out of nowhere, completely disconnected from our conversation.
At
or is
the,
there
well, at,
news?
well, at the end of this season, it is the end of the Mac Jones era. You
Oh, yeah,
can't,
Caleb
you
Williams.
can't put him out there again. Caleb Williams is not going to be a Patriot
He's
because
going to be a Patriot.
Are you going to swap picks with the Bears to get him?
Yeah, of course.
They'll trade up for it.
Because we've seen the trade up for a guy thing backfire too many times at this point.
They can give him their pick and the rights to Aaron Hernandez. I mean, I think that would work.
Ooh.
Well,
nice.
Aaron Hernandez being
well, his remains.
at
His
best eight
contract
goes.
has hung around. I mean, it's just there. Back and forth. Flying Monkey said they should call it the Chapter 11 League. You're not wrong, Flying Monkeys. You're absolutely correct on that. And just another face in the crowd. If I read your little acronym for XFL, USFL merger, I'd be fired. Because I don't even think that the F and the U would be at the beginning of that, to be honest.
You're just really reaching. Not that we don't appreciate it.
Yeah,
but that's
yeah.
just.
This ain't HBO. So Amazon, remember Amazon was just like, hey, we got the Thursday night football. Yeah. And they're like, oh, except for on Thanksgiving. Oh, all right. You'll have to not be on that week. Well, we got to be on that week. Come on. You got to give us something. The NFL's like, whoa, how about a Black Friday game? There we go. Now Amazon's like, we're listening. And they're like, all right, so here's what's going to happen. There'll be a special one game only on Black Friday, and it's going to be a very, very popular thing. And then they're like, well, who's going to play? The Dolphins? Yes. and the Jets. Son of a bitch.
Well, when they said that at the beginning of the season, I don't think anybody could have thought that the Jets were going to be this bad.
Oh, that's true. It's supposed to be Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah.
And guess what? This is a familiar score. Dolphins beat the Jets 31-13 on that game.
I think the scoring's wrong on the internet.
Well,
I think that was 31-32.
Sounds familiar.
That was 31-30.
Yeah, so that broadcast only got 9.5 million viewers.
So everybody was
9.5. It was 40 the day before on the Thanksgiving broadcast, but for Dolphins Jets, 9.5 million. So even a bunch of men sitting around waiting for their wives to get out of dressing rooms or to be done whatever, trying to watch on their phone, didn't care about this game.
I mean, the line going into that game was 9.5 points, and basically the Dolphins covered it twice.
So
there's no reason to watch that game.
Well, they should have changed the game. I don't know why they did just.
Yeah, like
change
we saw it coming. The moment that he tore his Achilles, Aaron Rodgers, at the beginning of the season, just flex out of that one.
Amazon should have
There's
been on the phone.
no chance.
Amazon paid $100 million for the rights to this. I think the minute that Aaron Rodgers' Achilles snapped, they should have been like, it's going to be 50 now. It's just 50.
One.
Yeah, and they deserve a coupon or something, you know.
I think the idea
needed a Black
really
Friday
good.
deal.
But the idea is good, right?
The
For
idea
Amazon.
is good, but that's
the wrong teams.
Well, yeah, but you could have between Achilles snapping day and Black Friday flexed in a better game
You had
to give them a
12
chance.
weeks.
Yeah,
you had 12 weeks,
and there were some games that would have done better than this. Many of the other games would have done better than this. Not Seahawks 49ers.
Oh, why?
But a
It was a
lot of
one-point game.
games would have done better than this.
It's a 1-point game. I don't know what you want.
So
only if you reverse the numbers that the Seahawks score.
Just a typo.
What I love about this was so many things in this headline. The Browns have elevated Joe Flacco to backup quarterback with Dorian Thompson-Robinson in concussion protocol ahead of the game with the Rams. So many things I love about that sentence.
Oh my God.
Well, there's a victory for the Rams.
I'm going to read it again. I like it so much. The Browns have elevated Joe Flacco to backup quarterback with Dorian Thompson-Robinson in concussion protocol ahead of the game with the Rams.
You know what the Rams should do to make this a little more equal?
What's that?
Put in Carson Wentz.
Oh, that would be great. That would be great. What time is that game so I don't accidentally watch it?
The thing that with the Joe Flacco thing too is that watching Joe Flacco in the interview, he was just at home hanging out, and he was like, "Yeah, they called me. I wasn't like desperately searching to be on a team."
Carson Wentz was though.
So somebody's sitting there with a list of beat ups and has beens, and they're like, "What about this guy? No. What about this guy? Too much dignity. What about this guy? Oh, Joe Flacco. Oh, he can't be doing anything right now." Yeah, I mean, there had to have been a list of a bunch of other people before they got down to Joe Flacco. Hey, Joe. Yeah, do you want to come? You want to come play football? For who? Browns? Oh, Jesus Christ.
Sure, why not?
All right.
Pays more than the grocery store. Why not?
Oh, he's got some money.
Oh no, Joe Flacco got paid after that Super Bowl in Baltimore. He ain't working at no grocery store. That's why he doesn't give it. He's just on his couch or whatever Joe Flacco does at home in his pool or whatever. He's hanging out.
So he'll be 39 in January. So when they go to the Super Bowl, yeah, okay.
The Super Bowl champion Joe Flacco. Just remember that. That is a thing that has happened in our lives.
So one of the dumbest offers that I've ever heard, actually heard on Travis Kelce and Jason Kelce's podcast. They had this clown ass by the name of Machine Gun Kelly on there. And he offered Travis Kelce $500,000 to leave the Chiefs and join the Browns. And of course, Travis was very diplomatic. He's like, that was the original dream to be on the Browns. Well, not these Browns. But do you think $500,000 would move the needle for a guy who's dating Taylor Swift, and if he marries her, he's gonna get some billions, and then he has his own hundreds of millions.
Yeah, he makes his own money. He's in every commercial lately.
He's not lacking any money.
I'm
Machine
pretty
Gun
sure I
Kelly.
saw some stat that Taylor Swift is making $500,000 every 10 seconds.
Oh,
That
geez.
he does not need to go to Cleveland. Okay.
Well, that makes you more attractive.
It's just
it
that
does.
he
It
doesn't
does.
need to go to Cleveland. Also, I would never accept career advice from Machine Gun Kelly, a man who lost a rap battle to Eminem so badly he changed genres of music. He no longer raps.
Why
I'm
are we
just
talking
not.
to this guy?
Yeah, I don't even understand how he got on the podcast. To be honest with you,
Now
who
that I
cares
know
what he
that
thinks?
Taylor Swift makes $500,000 every 10 seconds, hey, would you be sitting there listening to the stupid crap that she'll probably say? All the time with the couch. Then the only thing that you end up hearing there is ching, 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 ching. You're like, yes, dear. Oh, no, you're so right. You're absolutely 100% right. All right, we got to take a break. Let's come back, talk a little more football. And remember, we're going to have our NFL fan pick'em picks coming up in the 4:00 hour. And then we got fantasy football questions at 5. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic.
Kevin Kugler here from Westwood One. Hall of Famer Tony Baselli and I will have the call on Thursday Night Football this week. And it's a big NFC matchup with Geno Smith and the Seahawks flying south to face Dallas. Dak Prescott and the 8-3 Cowboys have won 3 straight and have not lost at home since early last season. Can Seattle break those streaks? Join us to find out on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 1580, The Fanatic.
As the weather gets colder, the NFL offers Stay Hot on FanDuel. Right now, new customers get $150 in bonus bets with any winning $5 moneyline bet. That's $150 if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action. The app is so easy to use. There's a wide range of betting options, spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. I like putting parlay bets together, hammering the overs, and anytime player touchdown bets always have me on the edge of my seat. So if you're ready to do the same, visit FanDuel.com/win and kick off the NFL season. That's FanDuel.com/win. FanDuel, official partner of the NFL.
21 plus and present in Arizona. First online real money wager, only $5 pregame money line wager required. First online real money wager, only $10 first deposit required. Bonus issued as non-withdrawable bonus bets that expire 7 days after receipt. See terms at sportsbook.fanduel.com. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-NEXT-STEP or text NEXT STEP to 53342.
At Simply Safe, our award-winning home security has advanced sensors, HD cameras, and now this 24/7 LiveGuard protection. Only from Simply Safe. Monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Now get 50% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
For the latest from the world of golf, tune in every Saturday morning from 6 to 8 for the Golf Shop Radio Show, presented by PlayGolfMyrtleBeach.com, the golf capital of the world. Hosts Mark Greenhelch and Matt Blanchard talk golf from tee to green and everything in between. If you like golf, you're going to love Golf Shop Radio. Before you tee up, drop on in. Welcome to the Golf Shop here on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic.
Greg Clark Automotive Specialist, located on the southwest corner of Bethany Home and 19th Avenue, servicing Valley automobiles for 44 years. And we're offering our fall inspection on the belts, water pump, radiator, and hoses. Also, our brake service inspection, recommended every year to prevent repairs and ensure top performance. For guaranteed family touch service, contact us at 602-246-2881. Highly rated by Google. Online at GregClarkAutomotive.com. Mention the Fanatic to get 10% off.
This is Joan, enjoying some me time up on the rim. This is Simon and his friends paddling the Salt River. And this is Brad. Brad is, well, no one knows where Brad is. What they all have in common is that they went to azmbdnow.gov to quickly and easily renew their registration or 30 other services. So go to azmbdnow.gov and get more time to enjoy all the things you love.
Sponsored by ADOT in partnership with the Arizona Broadcasters Association and this station.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
If you hit, pass it, dunk it, shoot it, check it, throw it, putt it, or block it, then we're gonna talk about it.
I like that. I just thought I'd clear that up.
1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Danny Blender here on 1580, The Fanatic. All right, throw a couple of college football things at you real fast there, Keon.
Well,
yeah, that's all I needed. Somebody to say something.
Okay.
I got 4 guys sitting here, and I'm just okay.
Yeah,
anyway,
just pushing some buttons. I thought somebody was going to say.
888-368-1580. Big Risk says Taylor Swift makes $500,000 every 10 seconds. Yeah, that's what Keon says. During concerts, TV appearances, recording, commercials, she can't make that much just existing, can she? Yes, she can, because people are buying her songs online or whatever. And so it's constantly generating money.
But she's a billionaire. She's got clothing lines, makeup lines. She's in everything. Like that. That's how she got to be a billionaire.
Also, Big Risk says it's $180 million an hour. Seems impossible to me.
Do you know how much money multiples of billions of dollars is?
Yeah.
Like, do you know how much money Jeff Bezos makes a second, or Elon Musk? Like, these guys are making. Yes, it seems impossible, but that's what having $1 billion is.
Yeah, now hold on though. If it's every 10 seconds, it's $180 million an hour. I don't think she's making that much. I think maybe,
like I said, I saw it somewhere. I didn't.
Yeah,
but like
she's got billions. That's all we know. She's got billions,
multiples of billions.
He's right. She'd be making $1 billion every 10 hours. That don't sound right.
It's just an obscene amount of money. And at that point, Machine Gun Kelly and his $500,000 doesn't mean anything.
And by the way, Big Risk says, I had 120 in bets open. He said, I guess I mentioned Big Risk's betting total, and he wanted me to look at it this time and see where it was. And he's from $130, he's up to $560 now. So that's pretty good. 564. Not bad there, Big Risk. Now do a Big Risk and bet the entire 564 on something. One thing.
Seahawks.
You don't call yourself the Big Risk for nothing.
That would be a big risk.
Seahawk money line. Do it.
I'm kidding, Big Risk. Don't do that.
That's probably maybe too big a risk. Potentially.
Don't do that. Mr. Pringle says that's insane. Not sure which point he's talking about, but yeah, we agree.
It could be many things.
Fighting Wampus says Taylor Swift is worth $1.1 billion. So yeah, that 10 seconds, every 10 seconds thing, that's not true. There was a thing where I remember the environmentalists were saying, by the time it takes you to read this, a crap ton of land will be mowed down in the Amazon rainforest. And I just did some simple math, and I'm like, you just made that crap up. That ain't true. If that were true, it'd all be gone by now. So I mean, it's getting there, but come on. You can impress me with real math because it is bad what's happening. You don't got to overinflate it just to try to make a point to a third grader. Fifth letter says, big risk, scared money don't make money. Oh, no, don't. I was kidding. Don't push him in. He says, tail me on my bet. We got this. So you think he should put his entire $564 on your Tony Pollard getting 40 plus yards, Zach Charbonnet getting 25 plus yards, and DK Metcalf getting 40 plus yards. You put 150 in, you're getting 300. So if he put his 5 whatever in, he'll get 1,000. It's a good bet. That would actually not be a bad bet, but I do not condone this. I am not suggesting this. I don't want to be blamed for this. Just another face in the crowd says, yeah, the dude is big risk, not stupid risk.
Wow. Big risk, not big stupid.
I don't know. I do like fifth letters parlay. I'm not going to lie, but I do not suggest this. I'm not doing it.
I looked it up. The more accurate numbers would be she makes $250,000 a day.
$250,000 a day. How does she get by?
I don't know.
Damn, that's near poverty level, isn't it?
Walter Mellon says,
private jet.
Hey, Jeffrey, just to put in perspective, if you have a $5,000 a day from the discovery of America in 1492, you would still not be a billionaire yet.
$1 billion is a lot of damn money. I don't think it's possible to wrap your head around how much money that is.
I think I need to go do the math on what Walter Mellon said. Quiet Cannon says, I've heard it said that if Taylor Swift was walking down the sidewalk and stopped to pick up $100 bill laying on the ground, she'd be losing money. Now, that might be true. That might be true. It would probably be some insurance problems from everybody crashing their cars, watching her bend over to pick it up. Blissful Hayes says, hey, have you heard about this lawsuit? The Washington Commandos are being sued by the Native American Guardians Association, which has been trying to get them to change their name back to the Redskins. Again, we're not going to go down this road. It's just a dumb road to go down. They've already decided they're not going to be that anymore. You can't sue somebody into going back to doing something racist. So I've just never heard of a lawsuit trying to get someone to be racist.
Stop saying
and like you could win that in the South, maybe.
And the thing is, like the group themselves, like if you read their website, they're not serious. Like they're not. It's not going to work.
It's not racist.
Wilbur says the University of Arizona versus Michigan State College basketball game on Thanksgiving pulled 5.1 million. That was ranked the highest rated regular season college basketball game in 15 years. That just goes to show you, Michigan State has a lot of fans. Glendale Runner says, how many players have pulled off the cut me so I can get picked up by a playoff contender after the trade deadline and walked away with a ring? Should we call this pulling a Ray Borg? The only person I can think of who's actually successfully pulled that off. I mean, if they don't have to pay him, I'm sure the Eagles will. I don't know. That's a 53-man roster. They might need every spot.
They might, but if I just don't know what the Eagles are necessarily lacking. It's just a team that has a connection to him that might see, the value of him being around some younger guys. But that's not the only team that might have some interest if you just need depth going into the postseason.
Hefty Lefty says Taylor Swift would never be home with Travis Kelce. He'd just be there in charge of taking care of her cats. Well, that's got to be worth something. Big Risk says, all right, I did his parlay, but I added over 3.5 receptions for Pollard. I only bet $10 on it, though, because it's a 5-leg parlay, so that's a real long shot. There, okay. Glad you're making the bet. Glad you're being reasonable about the bet. Although I would have been very interested if I'm going to write down how much you would have made if you had done that bet. Because that's a tempting bet, isn't it? That was a pretty good parlay, I think. Hefty Lefty says Godert has been hurt. Maybe Ertz would be good depth, like Keon was saying.
Yeah, I have Godert on my team, and he hasn't been alive in 3 weeks. So
it's like
I'm not saying.
So let's just say we're the Eagles, and they're like, hey, Ralph, Randy, let's talk about this. We have a hurt tight end. So I'm thinking what we need is another hurt tight end. Who can we get?
Well, he's not actively hurt.
We need another hurt tight end.
Yeah, but he's fragile. He is fragile.
Yeah, but you can't just, if you pick up a guy that's healthy but worse, did you help yourself? Like just a human being to be out there on the field because he's a healthy tight end, or you take the risk with the guy you know can play but has injury concerns, and then hopefully maybe juggle some things around with him. And I don't think Goddard is the only tight end they have on the roster, so you're not starting him over somebody else.
Yeah, you don't need him. Fifth letter.
Well, you do because you need a backup.
I'm going to reread your parlay because Beer Nuts wants to hear it. So, all right, everybody, pay attention. It's a same game parlay. Tony Pollard, 40+ yards. Zach Charbonnet, 25+ yards rushing. DK Metcalf, 40+ yards receiving. And the Tony Pollard one at the beginning was also rushing yards. So it's not all over yards. It's 40 rushing yards for Tony Pollard, 25 rushing yards for Zach Charbonnet, and 40+ receiving yards for DK Metcalf. So there you go, Beer Nuts. Good luck with that. And again, do not blame me if this goes sideways. The place it's likely to go sideways is DK Metcalf from no fault of his own. I'm just saying. What Ralph said is right. If he gets double teamed, that bet could get ugly and quick. But it's going to make the game more exciting, that's for sure.
And also a bit of a risk with the Charbonnet thing, too. He did have like 11 yards last time.
Oh, really?
Right? No, I'm not. I'm lying about that. That was the receiving.
He had 41.
He had 47. Oh, he had 47 yards. Yikes. Still kind of a risk, though, for being the guy.
I'm playing the Seahawks money line right now.
There you go. Ralph is getting ready to lose some money. And how much are you putting in there, Ralph?
$20.
Yeah.
Plus 370.
You'll never see that money again.
We'll see.
Yeah. So many jokes, no time.
If you're like most people, you've had your fair share of financial questions. Questions like, can I afford my son's travel hockey team? What if my daughter doesn't get that soccer scholarship? Will I be able to enjoy golf in retirement? At Empower, we know these questions can be stressful. We're here to help answer your what ifs and empower what's next. Join 18 million Americans and take control of your financial future. Start today at empower.com. Sponsored by Empower Personal Wealth.
The Sun Devil men's basketball season is fast approaching. Frankie Collins, who drives to the goal, dunks it in. Join the action this year and catch USC, UCLA, Washington, and Arizona when all come to Desert Financial Arena in the final year of the Pac-12 Conference. Collins, great spin move, drive to the basket and lays it in. Get your tickets today by calling 480-965-5812 or go online to sundeviltickets.com. Sun Devil men's basketball, onward to victory.
ADOT's I-10 Broadway Curve Improvement Project is in the works. It's an 11-mile stretch of Interstate 10 between Loop 202 and I-17. When complete, your travel time through the area will be reduced. Access to Sky Harbor, retail centers, and colleges will be improved, and the region will be able to better support a growing economy and more. Keep up with the project and traffic updates at i10broadwaycurve.com and stay ahead of the curve. This message is sponsored by the Arizona Department of Transportation.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30-50-70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit iqannuity.com.
Dan, what you doing with your phone? Taking pictures?
No, I'm asking it questions.
Like what?
Hey, Bobo, do flowers have best friends?
I'm sorry. I'm afraid I don't know that. Hey, follow me. I want to show you something. Look, flowers do have best friends.
Whoa.
Some answers can only be found in nature. Discover the unsearchable. Visit discovertheforest.org to find a trail near you. Brought to you by the United States Forest Service and the Ad Council.
Live from the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale.
This is KQFN Tempe.
Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM.
And K240U Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
All right, people, settle down because it's time.
For what? Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's week 13 in the NFL. It's also 4 o'clock, and it's also the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. I'm your good friend, your radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. Got Keon Rose in the control room. Ralph from Harmon Solar is joining us, and you guys are on the Fanatic text line, 888-368-1580, as we broadcast live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale, week 13. It has gone by so fast. For Keon, not fast enough because his fantasy football has been busted. Oh, my God. And, he's tied with Ralph in the picks contest. This has not been a great season for you in football, has it? And then, of course, the Washington Commandos are 4-8. Yeah.
I've been in the games that I lost in fantasy football. It's just, poor finishes. And the college football still exists. And that's been a good year. So,
well, you got that going for you.
Yeah.
Tomorrow you'll have Keon Rose's college football dance party, but today it's all about the NFL. And it's also what's today's date? Oh,
30th. The 30th.
Wow,
it's the last day of November.
I was getting excited about something, but it doesn't happen until next week. Okay. I was getting excited because Subway has announced they're going to have foot-long cookies.
Foot-long cookies?
Damn right they do. Foot-long cookies, and they're going to give them away for free on Monday because it's National Cookie Day on Monday. And so you can go to the Subway and get a free foot-long cookie. I've never had a foot-long cookie. I want a foot-long cookie.
I think my blood pressure or blood sugar just spiked when you said that. Just
what kind of cookie is it?
Does it say foot-long? That's all. I don't know.
Was it chocolate chip?
I don't know. I guess.
Is it coconut? Is it peanut butter?
I think it's just a chocolate chip cookie there, but they've also are going to have dessert to match. So these 12-inch cookies will have. I think they can put ice cream on it or something. But yes, I'm very excited. I'm going to make sure and go to Subway on Monday. I want a foot-long cookie. All I know. It didn't say what kind of cookie. Just says it's foot long. I'm assuming chocolate chip.
What kind of cookies do they have at Subway?
Chocolate chip with vanilla chips in it. They have oatmeal raisin, I think.
I like that too.
I'd be afraid if it'd be a foot-long oatmeal raisin. I wouldn't get off the toilet for a month.
Oh, I'd love it. I'd love it. I could use some time in the toilet, to be honest. Let me add it.
All that fiber? Are you kidding me? At my age, that could be my undoing right there.
Well, I need some undoing right now. So, all this healthy food, sometimes, Whew. Anyway, so next Monday, you can get yourself a free foot-long cookie at the Subway. I think you got to buy something.
You probably got to buy a foot-long.
Yeah, I will. I don't care. I feel like I'm not living my best life if I get a 6-inch sub. They're like, would you like 6-inch or a foot-long? Oh, you know the answer. Look at me. Okay, look at me sideways. What do I want? Sir, we don't have a 2-foot-long. You go to hell, but I'll have a foot-long.
Oh my God.
Subway workers are shaming people.
Just give me my food.
Charles Barkley's like, what are you doing, fool?
But a foot-long cookie. Good God. Now I want to try to make some myself. You get the cookie dough and kind of line it up and try to smoosh it into a foot-long cookie.
I saw it. Maybe it was Miss Kim told me somewhere you could buy the what is it, the Campfire Girl cookies, the Girl Scout cookie. You could buy the Girl Scout cookie dough.
Why would you do that? Why would you buy the dough?
Well, it's the Girl Scout cookies. They get proceeds from that.
No, to hell with him. Go to Walmart, get the $3.50 knockoff version of the Girl Scout cookies, and enjoy your diabetes.
What I'm saying is, you could make your own foot-long cookie using the Girl Scout cookie dough.
I could use any cookie dough.
Okay,
You could, but
just
why
think
wouldn't
about
you
it.
use the Girl Scout cookie dough?
Foot long.
I'm anti Girl
Samoa.
Scout cookies.
You're anti?
Yeah.
Why?
This racket, this monopoly, these hard sales they put on me as I'm just trying to get out of the damn store. They're bullies. They're little bullies.
Wow.
Oh, and if you don't want to buy them, then they give you that like, yeah, no, I don't want to mess with stupid Girl Scouts. I want the Keeblers, Keebler knockoff Girl Scout cookies. You know why? Because I feel like that's going to be an even better cause.
So wait a minute.
These little people living in the tree need my help.
Wait a minute. Let me get this straight.
Yeah.
Little girls trying to better themselves and grow up and learn how to be entrepreneurs and
learn how to be little
businesswomen
Karens who attack you as you leave the store.
No, wait.
Trying
This
to
is
corner
called,
you by your car.
Now, wait a minute. I was just going to talk to you about Girl Scouts versus you. Are you telling me elves are better?
Yes.
How is the elves better than the Girl Scouts?
They're itty bitty and they're adorable and they make
Those
great
things are
cookies.
everywhere. They're like bed bugs. They're everywhere.
They live in a tree.
What are you talking about? I just saw them on TV just not 5 minutes before the show, and they were selling cookies to some poor lady and her girl on the street, and they got on a little tiny bus. I'm telling these elves are everywhere, and they're trying to take over the United States of America.
As long as they keep making them cookies, I'm there for it.
See, I think that's a hard sell right there.
Hefty Lefty says Jeffrey is so rich he can afford Subway. Ooh. Wow. He says that's what hard work gets you, people. Less of a dig on Subway, on Jeffrey, more of a dig on Subway for being $14 for a foot long now. Is it really?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Remember when
Is
the
it that
commercial
much?
was $5 foot long?
No wonder
$14.
my people, when they go get that for
tripled
me,
that?
always say get mad when I ask for my change back.
Dang.
What change?
What people? Slim Pickens hat says the troop only gets 25 cents a box. Corporate gets the rest.
I'm sure Alex appreciates being called your people.
Oh, she's not my people. I'm her people. Big George says, hello, gentlemen. Happy Friday. Hey, George. We haven't heard from George in a while. He says, I have a foot-long cookie in my pants. He says it's white chocolate, though. Oh, my God.
Go back on vacation.
Why?
Almost.
Why did I read
Literally almost.
George.
The first, just ejection that this show has ever had. We are this
George,
close.
We've had penalty box.
I won't make the call because I don't blow the whistle around here. I'm just saying this close, Big George. This close.
Beer Nut says Ralph wants a foot long, but not a cookie. And he says, go Cowboys. I didn't know you were a Cowboy fan, Beer Nuts.
Yeah.
And Ralph, I didn't know you were a foot long fan.
If I remember correctly, I think Beer Nuts came out to
he came out
finally came out of the
Cowboys
closet
fan?
to the fantasy football remote, not this year, but the year before, and he had a Cowboys jersey on.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
Yeah.
Big Risk says white chocolate macadamia from Subway. Them cookies is the best. Fifth Letter says, let's get this money, Beer Nuts and Big Risk. Boy, I hope this goes your guys' way. I'm going to feel real bad if it doesn't. All right, listen, one more thing before we get into our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks. Did you see that story in the Sports Illustrated where they talked about how it was in Futurism. Futurism reported that Sports Illustrated was using AI writers with fake names, putting out like fake AI generated stories. And so then when Futurism posted an expose on this, all of a sudden Sports Illustrated deleted all those stories and those AI people and it's like, whoa, did you know there is a union of writers? It's called the Sports Illustrated Union that is supposed to be made up of the people who write for Sports Illustrated. And now, I mean, this is just a big old can of worms using AI writers and pretending like they're real people. That's kind of spooky.
Yeah, and also very disappointing. Sports Illustrated, as far as print publications go, that's like the gold standard of sports journalism. And so you see something like that, it's spooky, but it's also pretty gross.
It's the future. A lot of people are going to get replaced, and I've seen some versions of it in some other websites where it's not important enough to talk about the actual game. It's all just auto-populated by a computer and the stats and whatnot, and it always reads the same. Like if a Seahawks game, all of a sudden there's all the stats and information, but there's no personality behind the story.
Sorry, Ralph.
And
I know, right?
So the AI then adds more layers to that. What the AI will do is crawl through other accounts of the game, social media, as well as other sports sites that kind of explain what happened. And it creates a thing, and it's like a person talking about it because it throws in little tidbits of AI personality opinion based on what people have said on social media, the facts of the game based on what has been posted by the people. So it's just basically it crawls, gets the info, gets the thoughts, gets the this, kind of chugs it together. Now, it's not good writing. It's kind of obvious when it happens, but pretty soon you won't be able to tell the difference.
How'd you learn all this technical mumbo jumbo? Crawling.
No, that's real. That's a real thing. Bots that crawl through and they get information.
They're grabbing and all this technical AI jargon.
Yeah, I'll write down a glossary for you.
Are you the real Jeffrey?
I don't even know anymore. Big Risk says, you forgot to ask my question. No, I didn't. We're not going to talk about that, Big Risk. Bala51 says, that's why the Sports Illustrated swimsuit issues have been so extremely woke lately. I mean, they're woke. How can you be woke?
Well, they're not
bunch
AI,
of bikinis.
Yeah, they're not AI generated pictures. They're
a bunch of bikinis.
The people are real.
How is that woke?
Yeah, I don't get that either. I mean, if there's a guy on the cover, I get it. But...
Yeah.
Huh.
So this year they've got Matthew McConaughey and like a G-string.
Ooh. Yeah. I don't.
Showing his longhorn,
Welcome
yeah.
to the 20. It doesn't matter if you're male, female, straight, gay. If you think about Matthew McConaughey and a string, everybody does the same thing. Ooh. Nobody wants that.
All right.
Randy, that has got to be a record in radio. The very first sentence ever uttered, you could smell. How about Matthew McConaughey in a G-string?
It'd be a whole lot cooler if you didn't.
Yeah, didn't. Just don't. I think we should. I think we should just do. I think we should just do something else now.
Oh, my face hurts. I don't think I've ever frowned this hard before.
That was jarring. This is why we're going to get replaced by AI, Randy. That kind of stuff right there.
I don't think even AI would want to touch any of the things that it wouldn't want to do any of the things we do. It wouldn't want to talk about any of the things we want to talk about.
That's why we're getting replaced by AI. Hefty Lefty says, Longhorn skin in the trunk of the Lincoln with him laying on it in the old banana hammock.
You can stop right there.
There it is.
You actually could have stopped well before right there.
In this issue, SI's bikini shoot goes south. Oh, wow. My.
If by south you mean bad, yeah, I mean,
this is
hard
the
to
day
argue
I
that
stopped
one.
watching TV. Big T says, I've listened to this show for 3 years since I moved here. This segment is untouchable. I don't know which direction he's going with that. He's probably right.
I don't either, because I'm thinking, man, what an awful day to have ears.
Or eyes. Or mind,
or an imagination, or a brain that functions. Yeah,
Any of the senses, probably.
No part of this is working for me, to be honest.
Well, let's get to the part that does work. It's time, ladies and gentlemen, for our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks, and let's get this thing going before. Yeah, I can't stop thinking about what Randy said. It's
unsettling.
We're 4 minutes early for a break, but I'd kind of like to.
Aren't you guys glad I'm back?
I mean, I was before you said that.
All right. All right. So tonight, Thursday Night Football, it's also Ralph's game. So let's pile on right here and right now. Dallas Cowboys hosting their victim, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm no Dallas fan. Dallas is quite capable of screwing up. The Seahawks have a defense. So This is not a gimme. I know we're giving Ralph a whole lot of crap over it. This is not an automatic win for the Dallas Cowboys, but it is going to be a win for the Dallas Cowboys, in my opinion. I think that there's just too much going right for the Cowboys right now, and more than a couple of things that are not going right for the Seahawks. So that's my pick, Dallas Cowboys. Keon, who do you got?
Yeah, I've got the Cowboys too. I think that they've been playing really good complementary football. I don't think that they have the greatest offense or anything like that, but it's a good offense. And when when they're in control of a game, Dak doesn't make a ton of mistakes. He doesn't really kill you, and they're good enough on the ground. They keep possession of the ball. And then Dan Quinn and that defense, they're able to force turnovers and turn those turnovers into points, sometimes immediately, like with all the pick sixes that Deron Bland has had this year, or by taking those drives and then just ending them in 7. I mean, it's been impressive to watch them play, and I'm taking the Cowboys.
Randy?
Well, I'm not a believer in the Cowboys, and I know the aforementioned Cowboy fans out there are once again going to hate me, but explain to me why, when I look at the Cowboys' schedule this year, there's not one winning schedule team on this list that the Cowboys have beaten, and yet every team that has a winning record have beaten the Cowboys, except for the mighty Fighting Cardinals of Arizona, who dismantled the damn Cowboys 28-16. You might remember that back on that fateful day in September 24th. So, and also the Cowboys faced the Seahawks. I know it was preseason, but don't think that they didn't get a little, they could get some tidbits of information. The last time the Cowboys beat a team with a winning record was back in January in the wild card round of the playoffs when they beat the Buccaneers. Other than that, this season, who have they beat? So give me the Seahawks in a good game to win.
Wow, I am so shocked you were taking the Rainy City Bitch Pigeons, but I know how you hate the Dallas Cowboys as well. So,
well, it's not about hate. It's not about like or dislike. It's about facts. Facts are facts.
All right. We all know what Ralph's facts are. His facts are dependent on what has happened. And one day he'll say he's a Seahawk fan. The next day he'll say he's a Rams fan. Today he's got a $20 bet on the money line for the Seahawks to beat the Dallas Cowboys. So you give me a really good reason why you think the Seahawks are going to beat the Dallas Cowboys, Ralph.
First of all, Randy, I'm glad the medicine has given you clarity. So I'm very happy for that.
Mm-hmm.
So the last 5 times these teams have faced each other, Seattle's 5-0. They've had the Cowboys number for a while. The game that you guys saw on Thanksgiving, that wasn't Seattle. You can't judge Seattle on that game. I'm sorry. Seattle. That was a bad situation with them coming off a really short week. You got to throw that game away. Seattle wins this game tonight. You're going to see a different Seahawk team. You're going to see a different Geno Smith. I wish Kenneth Walker the third was playing, but he's not. But I think you'll see Charbonnet do his piece. I think you'll see DJ Dallas do his piece. And I think you're going to see DK and Tyler involved a lot more. I guarantee you this defense will get all over Dak Prescott because he's an interception machine, and they're going to show that tonight with 2 picks, maybe even a pick 6. We'll see. But I'm telling you, Seattle's going to win this game, and you guys are going to come back tomorrow and go, what happened? Except for Randy because he got it right. So I played the money line for a reason. I mean, they're winning this game. There's no doubt in my mind this is a victory, and you guys shall see tomorrow.
I'll tell you what. I'll bet you $20 straight.
I already spent my load, so sorry.
Oh. Thinking about you doing anything with your load is not something I needed to think about.
Yeah,
so
take Seattle, I'm telling you.
Again, what a terrible day to have ears. just throwing that out
for you, Keon.
That should always be the slogan for this show. Daily Blender. A terrible day to have.
Wait till you see the text I send you after the game, Keon.
Please don't.
You're getting a text.
Let's take a break. When we come back, we've got a whole bunch more of our Harmon Solar NFL fan pick'em picks to pick, and we'll pick them. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage Team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
Don't let your kids get fooled by the people they meet on social media. It may start as an innocent conversation, but those strangers are using their relationship to deal drugs to your kids. If you think tiny pills can't do much harm, think again. Fentanyl can end it all. Find resources at talknowaz.com. Don't let your kids get fooled. Talk to them. And visit talknowaz.com. This message is sponsored by the Substance Abuse Coalition Leaders of Arizona.
Hey, what's up, everybody? Ken Barkley here, reminding you to check out You Better You Bet. Why, you ask? Well, because we bring the fun, the insight, and all the wagertainment you need. Plus, hopefully, we win a couple bets along the way. From up-to-the-minute breakdowns of backdoor covers, bad beats, and the cheers and tears that come with them, obviously. Plus, betting analysis from some of the best minds in the sports wagering world. Join myself and Nick Costos and tune into You Better You Bet. Weekdays from noon to 3 on Arizona's sports betting station 1580 and 99.3, The Fanatic.
Danny Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and we've got Rosalie Michaels coming up at 5 o'clock. Be ready with your fantasy football questions. Randy's not sitting there at his mic, and neither is Ralph. So I got to tell you, I kind of hope Randy beats me this week. Yeah, I'm playing Randy in the Premier League because he's sort of fallen out of the playoffs. You know, he's in 9th place, and I'm in 4th place. Kind of like to see him, back up into the playoff race. So I'm never going to throw it. Never going to do that. But I am kind of rooting for him. You know what I mean? I am rooting for him. And now I'm rooting for this, who was it that did the Fifth Letter, I think, that suggested, no, that's not Fifth Letter. Who suggested the, who suggested the bet for Big T, or who was it? Risk. I don't know. I'm getting confused. There's so many texters on the text line, but that
Fifth Letter was the
was
bet.
it Fifth Letter?
Fifth Letter was the bet, I think.
Fifth Letter was the one who came up with that. Yes, you're right. It's Fifth Letter who came up with the bet for Tony Pollard and Zach Charbonnet and DK Metcalf. I don't even know what I'm saying anymore. You know what? Let's just get back to the picks.
All right.
Everybody back in place? Ready to go?
Yes.
Baby Got Dak says, geez, what are you smoking, Ralph? Dak Prescott has 24 touchdowns on the season with 6 interceptions. Geno's got 12 touchdowns and 8 interceptions. How is Dak a turnover machine?
Are you really going to have this conversation? Prior to this year, he's a turnover machine. He'll have 2 picks tonight. 2. Write it down.
I'm still waiting on that 10th one because he said he wouldn't get to 10. And I don't know, my sides might actually detach from my body once I start laughing so hard.
I think Witherspoon might get both of them, so we'll see.
He's been an interception machine lately, that Witherspoon. Yeah, he's good.
Stockton Slap just sent a picture. I guess the gas prices are really low now. $2.79. He just showed me a picture of a Circle K at Roosevelt and 7th Avenue. Man, you better have a Kevlar vest in that neighborhood, though. My advice is to keep driving. All right, back to the picks. So let's take a look here. We always do the games that air on 1580 The Fanatic first. Let's go on over to Sunday afternoon. Sunday afternoon, we have the San Francisco 49ers and the Philadelphia Eagles. I think we all agree, yes, indeed, this is the best game that you are going to watch this weekend. Now, I mean, you're going to watch your game for your team, and that's good, but this is going to be the best game. And Philadelphia is at home versus the San Francisco 49ers, Ralph. So I know you've got a little bit of a sore spot after what the 49ers did to your Seahawks last week. So what do you think about this game?
This is a tough one. I mean, I've been saying all season, I think the Frisco is probably the best team in the league. Philly just keeps finding a way to win, and they're going to be at home with the radio, with their fans. I heard this is probably going to be a weather game. There's a possibility it's going to be a weather game as well. I think that'll play into it, especially if it's a weather game. I like Philly. I think Philly will find a way to win this game. This is going to be like a last-minute field goal game. I think this is like 24-21 at the most, something like that. But I'm taking Philly.
All right, Keon, how full of crap is Ralph?
Well, I don't think he's full of crap. I disagree, but this is a good game. It's a really good game. I'm leaning towards the Niners. I just think that when they're healthy, and they are now, like more so than the Eagles are, they're a more complete team. And I think that missing Dallas Goedert does hurt Philly a little. And I do think missing Jordan Davis on the defensive line, and what he's able to do by taking on those double teams, I think that they're going to miss him a little bit too. And just the fact that the Niners are fully loaded, fully healthy. And once again, Brock Purdy gets to go out there and just be the field general and just deploy everybody where they need to go. And he's done a brilliant job of that. So, they've got Debo, they've got Ayuk, they've got Kittle, all the guys. I'm going to go with the Niners.
All right, Randy, how full of crap is Keon?
Wow.
I don't know. I've done no colonoscopy on Keon, so I can't tell you. But in this case, I think Ralph and Keon are somewhat correct in a couple of different areas. And I have to feel like in Philadelphia, they were just on the bye week here, just last week or the week before? Something like that?
Last week.
They played last week? Okay. Maybe it was the week before. But anyway, I feel like Philly is a little fresher. They're at home. And I think Ralph's right. It's going to be, from what I remember, it's going to be a weather game in Philadelphia. It's going to be a well-anticipated game. Both teams will be up for this. It's going to be as we know, a Philadelphia hostile environment for San Francisco. And I think Philadelphia always seems to find a way. They've just kind of been grinding games out all season long. They've, and they just keep working hard and working through the game, even when they're down and they're not doing things correctly. And they seem to find a way. So I'm going to take Philadelphia, but I think Ralph's right. I think it's going to be a close game.
So basically, Keon, we all think you're full of crap because I'm taking the Philadelphia Eagles too.
Okay. Well, I don't think any of you guys are full of crap. This game's really close. Points scored per game, they're both tied for third in the league. So there's that.
You already had your turn. It was my turn. You full of crap. All right. Now I don't even feel like saying the things I want to say because you said some of the things I was going to say. Thanks for stealing my thing.
I just had one stat.
Yeah, you're full of crap. By the way, Moist One kind of caught that line that Ralph had when he was talking about betting the Seahawks, and he says, I've already bet my load. And, of course, Moist One was the next text in, and he says, load. Even I didn't want to picture Ralph squeezing out his travel-sized toothpaste.
Oh, my gosh.
What?
Wow.
Only the Moist One could insult you in a way that is still somehow deeply uncomfortable.
Whistling gerbil. It's too early. Too early for the fantasy football questions. But I'll save your question right here. Chief Skull says, afternoon guys, and Ralph. Good to hear the sweet sounds of Randy back at the mic, bringing reality to Ralph again.
Sweet sounds.
Thank you.
Sweet sounds.
But right now it's just Randy, Ralph, and I bringing reality to Keon because he's full of crap. All right, so next game, Sunday Night Football, Kansas City Chiefs. Ooh, there's half a good game versus the Green Bay Packers. Okay, Randy, Green Bay Packers are at home. Jordan Love has kind of been playing better, I guess. But Green Bay Packers 5-6. Kansas City, they are the Chiefs. What are you thinking on this game?
Going to be a special evening. Patrick Mahomes already said he's excited and electrified to play at the historic, Green Bay Stadium there.
He's never played at Lambeau Field?
Never played at
No.
Lambeau. This is his first time.
How'd that happen?
And so you better believe the rest of the team is not going to let Patrick down. He's going to get a win at the legendary Lambeau Field. And I think KC is also starting to get in a groove for playoff football, which is a dangerous thing. Give me KC probably by 2 or more touchdowns.
I got Kansas City Chiefs on this one. I mean, it's not something I'm thoroughly confident in because the Chiefs are not a team you can be thoroughly confident in. But they do, like the Eagles, find ways of winning. They'll find themselves in trouble and they'll find their ways out. I'm going to go with the Chiefs on this one, but I think that actually will be it'll be a game worth watching. I think that the Packers will step up for this one. Keon, what do you think?
Yeah, I do think it'll be a game worth watching. I think the Packers play good enough defense to make it a game worth watching. But, the Chiefs are better in pick a stat category, and they're better in it. Points scored per game, points given up per game, interceptions in the whole season. Like there's almost nothing that the Packers and Chiefs do that the Chiefs aren't better at. So I'm just going to take the Chiefs and just keep it simple.
All right, Ralph. Usually, Keon is full of crap, but on this one, he's full of brilliance because he agrees with me. Where are you at in the full of crap to full of brilliance range?
Well, I always hate to, go with Keon, but I'm going to do it on this one. I'm with you guys. I don't think there's much to talk about here. I think that Chiefs are a better team. I think they win this game. I think, like Randy says, it's probably going to be by 2 touchdowns. I don't see this being a competition.
Yeah, I think we're all picking the Chiefs, but I will say upset alert on this. Something smells funny on this. I'm just going to say it now so I can brag about it later. And if nothing happens, then we'll just forget this ever happened. That's how everybody else does it. Monday Night Football. You've got did I talk to everybody about that?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. Okay, good. I just want to make sure. The Bengals. Okay. Now, see, this would have been a fun game.
Yeah.
This would have been a fun game, but Joe Burrow no longer quarterback because of what happened to him. So the Bengals taking on the Jacksonville Jaguars at home. Jacksonville is 8-3. Cincinnati is 5-6. And it's just, the Bengals have got to make some sort of changes because, plus minus a quarterback, you got to be better than this. So anyways, I'm taking Jacksonville with an easy win on this because what is the quarterback's name is it Browning?
It's Jake Browning. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Couldn't they have flexed this one? You don't think they could have flexed it?
They should have.
I don't think they could have because there's I don't remember exactly when the week is where they're allowed to start flexing games, but
it should be week 1.
It's around this one. So.
They should be allowed to flex from the beginning. Come on. But I take Jacksonville beating Cincinnati fairly easy on this one. Randy?
I'm with you, Jeff. Go. I think they're at home. I think it's Monday Night Football. I don't see how Jake Browning is the savior for Cincinnati, although Cincinnati's defense has been pretty good. I pretty much think these guys are kind of on cruise control in Cincinnati because, what's the purpose of going out there and getting a win? What is it going to do, especially if you start losing key pieces to the team? I mean, just go out there and kind of maintain. If you end up getting a win, great. But Jacksonville's they're headed for the playoffs. So Jacksonville's got something to lose. So give me the Jaguars.
What do you say, Ralph?
Yeah, you don't see the Jaguars as 8+ point favorites very often. I think this is another easy game. I think this is Jaguars and they're going away. It's not going to be much of a competition. Cincinnati's on their way down to probably, 10, 11, 12 losses.
This is a different Jacksonville Jaguar team. They have finally come into focus. And, I hate that they're in my division. All right, Keon, Jacksonville, I guess?
Yeah, it's gonna be Jacksonville. They're top 15 in the league in points per game. They're top 15 in the league in yards per game. And the defense of the Bengals, especially when it comes to their run defense, they're last against the run. Everybody can run on them. And Travis Etienne is having a very good year for the Jaguars.
Yeah, this week sucks because we're all going to agree because it's all easy to figure out who the good and the bad teams are, except for when people are full of crap. So, yeah, everybody's going with Jacksonville.
Wow.
So that's all the games that are airing on the radio station. A questionable game I have, what I mean by questionable is will this be a good game or not a good game? Denver Broncos are going to Houston. Houston 6-5. Denver 6-5. Denver really sucked at the beginning of the year, and now they're looking pretty good. Houston really sucked at the beginning of the year. Now they're looking pretty good. Both teams for different reasons. Houston, C.J. Stroud found his groove and is looking to be Rookie of the Year, if not MVP. And, of course, Captain Cringe over there with the Broncos, we've written them off along with Sean Payton, and then all of a sudden, bam, 5 wins in a row. So, or was it 6? I think it was 5 wins in a row, but now they have 6 wins. So both stories are kind of similar. So it's a hard one to read. So what do you got, Keon? You got Denver or you got Houston?
Yeah, this was a game I actually kind of went back and forth on. I landed on Denver. I don't know if I'm going to stay there. But I do think that the Broncos have played a whole lot better lately. And it does make some of their stats weird and confusing because if you look at them overall, the stats aren't great. But if you just look at the last 5 games that they've played, the Denver Broncos look like an actual NFL football team. And that defense doesn't just look like an actual defense. It looks like a really good defense. So I'm going to lean towards the team that's got the somewhat stronger defense because actually Houston's played really good defense as well. But I think that Denver has the ability to stop a team without being able to, or without having to rush extra guys, which I think, you have more guys in coverage. It means you can do a whole lot more things. And you're doing that against a rookie quarterback who has been good, but it's not like people haven't beaten him because they are 6-5. I'm going to go with the Denver Broncos.
What do you say, Randy? Captain Cringe or Captain Stroud?
Yeah, it's against my better judgment to go against the Broncos lately, but I'm going to take Houston. These guys keep selling it out, man. 70,000 plus down there in Houston. There's a lot of excitement in that building. Every time C.J. Stroud touches the ball, there's chance of MVP going. I mean, this kid could really do something special. I'm going to go on a limb here, and I'm going to take Houston for the win. They're at home, and they're a pretty good team.
All right, I'm going to go ahead and take Houston as well. Just the home field being the advantage. I'm wary of that, though, because Sean Payton, turns out he's still a pretty good coach. Which way are you going, Ralph?
For me, when I see Russ' numbers and he's 20 touchdowns and 4 picks, that's when he's at his best, and he's having that kind of year. I'm going to ride the hot hand. I mean, he's hot right now. The team's hot right now. You got to stay with the Broncos and see what they can do. I think they're better than the Texans right now, and I think they win this game and keep rolling.
One issue on this. Who has the better defense, Keon? Denver or Houston Texans?
The Texans do. But those are the full season stats. And remember, the Broncos first half of the season so far, they gave up 70 to the Dolphins. I don't think that if they played the Dolphins again, they'd give up another 70.
Sure.
They're playing a whole lot better. But yeah, overall for the season, that would be the Texans.
Well, then I feel pretty good about the Houston Texans pick.
Although, all right, just toss some injury stuff in there. You did mention C.J. Stroud had the injury that he was dealing with. Tank Dell, wide receiver, dealing with a calf injury as well.
Whoa!
And that's wide receiver 1.
I might change that pick. You got a dinged up Stroud and now Tank Bell. Ooh. Yeah, I'm changing my pick. I'm going back to. Wait, are you sure he's not going to play?
I didn't say he wasn't going to play. He's questionable, so he'll probably play. But is he going to be 100%? Just something to keep an eye on.
Game time decision then. So if Stroud and Tank Dell are having too many issues on game day, I'm going to flip that over to the Denver Broncos. So that's the difference maker for me. I'm just waiting for people to make fun of me for it right now. Just pausing for that. Pausing for the abuse.
Now we're
influx of texts.
Yeah, you flip-flop all the time. So.
Oh, come on. We got flip-flop. I don't flip-flop. I got till game time to make a decision. Moist One says, interesting that Ralph would disrespect the Stroud boys.
How did I do that?
Baby Got Dak says, Ralph says Dak will have 2 interceptions. Write it down. So I wrote it on some toilet paper. Then I wiped my butt with it. Thanks for the advice, Ralph.
Hopefully it left some ink in there too. So good.
Wow.
She is always so ladylike. Chief Skull says, Keon full of crap? Never. He's the originator of To Be Fair. He does always sort of qualify his comments on that. Yeah. Niner 1680 says, once again, Keon proves he's the smartest guy in the room. Niners by 10. The Jet says,
I feel less good about the pick now.
Yeah, right. The Jet says, first time texter, long time listener. Why the hell's Ralph on again this week? I'm asking for the group. First off, you've been texting forever, so your first part was a lie.
Yeah.
Second, we like having Ralph on, so shout out.
And also, he's on every week.
Yeah,
where have you been?
Every
man?
Thursday at least. Yeah. Whistling Gerbil. I will save your question. I'm doing that now. But I found they have a new feature on the text line. By the way, they did fix it. Every time I ask for something, about 6 months later, it comes true, and I can actually hit reload, and all the unread texts come up to the top. Oh, I've never been happier. So I'm saving your text, Whistling Gerbil, for when Rosalie Michaels joins us here in about 20 minutes to answer all your fantasy football questions. All right, let's take a break. When we come back, we will finish up our Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em Picks. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Sometimes I struggle to get to sleep. My body stopped for the day, but my mind is still running. So I take ZQuil.
ZQuil, the world's #1 sleep aid brand, has a range of non-habit-forming products to fit you and your family's needs. Invest in a great night's sleep for the best you tomorrow.
I'm awake and ready to take on anything.
Better days start with ZQuil nights. Explore our products at ZQuil.com. Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Can I open it now?
I think you've waited long enough.
Yeah, go for it, kiddo.
I already have this baseball cap.
Not this one.
Look a little closer, sweetheart.
It's signed?
Yeah, buddy.
I can't believe it.
Do you still have that card all these years later? Do you have trading cards that's been sitting in a box for decades? Scottsdale Cards is who you want to call first. The Valley's card, comic book, and collectibles expert since 1989. Scottsdale Cards is your source to sell your trading cards and other collectibles, including those comic books you've been doing nothing with. We are always interested in buying your vintage sports cards and comic books, certified autographs, memorabilia, and collectibles. So what collectibles do you have stored away? They could be worth thousands. Call or text 480-419-2990. That's 480-419-2990. Or go to scottsdalecards.com. That's scottsdalecards.com. Or search Scottsdale Cards on your mobile phone today.
When it comes to covering the high school sports scene in Arizona, AZ Preps 365 has all the answers. Every Saturday morning from 8 until 10, they break down games, interview the newsmakers, talk with coaches from around the state, and stay up to date with what's happening with prep athletes and breaking news from the Arizona prep scene. It's AZ Preps 365, 8 till 10 Saturday mornings on 1580 and 99.3 The Fanatic, and always on at 1580thefanatic.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, Phoenix has had over 53 days of 110 degree plus this summer. This last July alone, we had 30 consecutive days of 110 plus. And this summer heat might just be the new normal for summers here in Arizona. What you need to do is call Harmon Solar today. Harmon Solar could save you over 80% off your electric bills. They're a locally owned, family-owned company. Call Harmon Solar for a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189, or go to harmonsolar.com.
1580 The Fanatic and at 1580thefanatic.com.
Your home for sports.
Danny Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic. Just another face in the crowd says, in response to your question yesterday about vets taking interest in the Army-Navy game, yeah, a lot of veterans do watch the game. A lot of us watch the game at the local tavern. Nothing else. It gives us a chance to have fun busting each other's chops. Yeah, yesterday when I asked that question, I was just busting your guys' chops. I'm just starting crap. All right, ladies and gentlemen, let's get back to our Harmon Solar NFL Fan Pick'em picks. And let's see. Well, it's time now to talk about our games. We already talked about how Dallas Cowboys are going to beat the Seattle Seahawks.
No,
so now it's your turn, Keon. That's right. The Washington Commandos at home at FedEx Field. Will there be hot water? Probably not. Will there be water? Only if it's coming out of the pipes in the ceiling all over the top of everybody. And guess what? It won't be water. But Washington with Sam Howell at home versus who's that? Oh, dear Lord, it's the Miami Dolphins. Oh, my goodness. All right. Spoiler alert. I'm taking the Dolphins.
Imagine my shock.
And this is going to be ugly. This is going to be ugly. You have a pretty good defense, but you don't have a stop the Miami offense defense. They're going to run through you. Like Baby Got Dak runs through toilet paper. It's going to be bad. I am so sorry. I'm so sorry for your loss. Randy, is there any hope for the Washington Commandos against the onslaught of offensive power that comes from the Miami Dolphins?
Sorry, Keon.
I like that you at least pretended to think about it.
The Dolphins will win this game. That's all the analysis I can give on that.
I think
I don't want to hurt my good friend Keon.
Ralph has tons of analysis, I think.
I don't want to hurt him, and I'll just moving along.
Go ahead, Ralph.
I take issue with you saying they have a pretty good defense. They're the 29th ranked defense in the league.
Well, they started with a pretty good.
Unless you're going, unless you mean points per game, in which case they are dead last.
Yeah.
Continue, Ralph.
I remember we started the season and Keon was telling us they had a good defense.
No,
They did,
and they traded half of it away.
Oh, no, hold it. They didn't get worse when they traded half of it away. They got worse when Jack Del Rio decided he was going to run one of 3 plays every game for an entire NFL season.
Yeah,
that's when it got worse, because then there's no surprise there. There's just no surprise.
Yeah, I mean, I'm going to try to be as gentle as I can. They suck. I mean, there's no other way to say it. They're just a bad team. They're gentle. They're
Not
a bad
very
team.
gentle, Ralph.
I mean, that quarterback.
No, actually, that is the nicest way to say it, because anything I've yelled at my TV is much worse than that.
Yeah, I mean, they're just a bad team with the quarterback that throws 100 passes a game, and this is going to be ugly. I think you could see a 70-point game. It's not impossible.
So
Dolphins.
Keon has learned that he can't have potted plants on either side of his TV or they will die, because he is shouting the most negative things and the most angry things. And the scientific studies have shown when you do that, the plants will die. They just can't take that kind of negativity. So, yeah, I think we're all in agreement on this. But let's see what Keon says about the Miami Dolphins visiting his Washington Commandos.
Well, the point spread on this game is 9.5 points. That's very nice of Vegas to let us down easy.
That's generous.
The implied BetMGM score from all the betting implies that the Dolphins will beat the Commanders 30-20. Again, very gentle, because if that is the actual score of the game, I will float into the office. I'll be so happy. That's not going to happen. I think the Commanders will score. I mean, the Commanders could score 20 points. This Dolphins defense isn't great. They're ranked 23rd, but the Commanders have the 32nd ranked defense. They're awful. They can't stop anything. Their secondary stinks. Their defensive line is underachieving, and it was underachieving before they traded the guys away. It's just a continuation of everything going on before. They fired Jack Del Rio. I guess that's just to send a message. I have no idea what that's supposed to fix. They've been poorly coached this entire time. Look, I just want to see the development of Sam Howell, and I would really, really like it if the team managed to chew up enough clock to not give up 70. But I'm actually not sure they won't. I think Ralph's right. I think it's very much in play, and I am sad already. I am already sad.
I'm sad already.
I'm trying to read between the lines here. So you're saying take the over?
Well, let's see what the over is. The over is 49.5. You might do it. I mean, at 49.5.
I'm trying to understand here. Are you trying to tell me to take the over in this game?
I just don't see. Let's say that Vegas is a generously nice number that they lofted out here. The 20 points. Let's say the Commanders scored 20.
Yeah.
How do the Dolphins not beat them by 20? I don't see how they don't do it.
It's going to be a bloodbath. Let's be honest.
Yeah, no, it's going to be it's going to be a live televised axe murdering. I really don't think that they should do this. It's just going to be a beheading, and they should put that on television.
All right,
Personally,
I want to get to the Arizona Cardinals pick, so we got to go quick through the Colts versus the Tennessee Titans, and a couple of evenly matched teams, if we're honest. I know that Levis ain't great, but let's face it, neither of the Colts really. I think the Colts should win this, though, because, we have a somewhat better offense than they do. Anybody want to comment on this, or are we all taking the Colts?
Is Jonathan Taylor out?
He is out, but Zach Moss is just as good a replacement as you're going to find. So Zach Moss will step up, and they won't lose anything on the running game.
I'm taking the Titans.
All right.
I really think the Titans. I know
being that way.
Not even to be that way. I just think they win this game. I think they win this game. They're at home. They seem to be better. I'm taking the Titans.
All right. Everybody else that's not full of crap with me?
Yeah, I'm with you. Colts are 9th in the NFL in terms of interceptions, and Will Levis likes to throw them.
Oh, goody. I'm looking forward to that.
And here's the situation Ralph keeps forgetting. Gardner damn Minshew. Give me the blue horseshoe.
Only if he shows up in jorts will I say it's a lock.
4-0 at home.
If he walks in on the concrete and doing that fashion walk they all do these days, and he's wearing jorts, I'll bet the house on it.
All right.
4-0.
Let's talk about the Arizona Cardinals. They are visiting the Pittsburgh Steelers, and again, I don't know how much we need to go into on this, but I'm going to let Ralph start.
I'm going to be gentle because Randy picked the Seahawks. The Cardinals.
Yeah,
he's trying to find a single nice thing to say.
We're running out of time, Ralph.
They have really nice uniforms.
There you go.
But I'm taking the Steelers.
All right, I got the Steelers on this one. Easy win for Mike Tomlin. Keon, very quickly, who do you? You've got this. You've got the Steelers.
The Steelers are a top 5 defense. The Cardinals are a bottom 5 defense.
Okay. All right, ladies and gentlemen, it's time now for Randy White to give his thoughts on the Arizona Cardinals versus the Pittsburgh Steelers.
I'm sorry, Cardinal Nation. I have not been able to do my normal, energetic pep talk. To get you fired up. Rise up, Red Sea. I can't do it. I've been under the weather. But listen, the Cardinals are going in with a chip on their shoulder. Remember back in Super Bowl XBCK 94283 runner 9062? And remember that fictitious catch made in the end zone where both feet were not down? The Cardinals have some payback to give. And so, my friends, I encourage you. Hey, bet on the. Well, I better not do that. Put your money on. Wait, don't do that. Please. Stand with me as we go into the aluminum-clad city, and we burn a fire so hot that everything around it will melt into a pool of silver and shiny metally stuff. Going into the Mahinga Wangalanga River, which is right outside the damn stadium. The Cardinals will win this game 36-2 in what will be known as the meltdown of the great Steel City.
And there he is, Randy White, with his pick this week. By the way, I just want to stop, and you brought up an interesting point.
Yes.
The
Go ahead.
Steelers and the Cardinals
Yes.
Super Bowl,
Yeah.
and the fact that, that was not a catch. But if that had happened today, they'd have caught that because of the automatic video review on every
I'm aware of that.
score.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cardinals might have won that Super Bowl if
Damn
not
right.
for that bad call.
If only. But then again, there's a great saying that says, looking backwards is always better than looking forwards.
Who said that?
Probably somebody who's
age old. I don't know. Maybe
leaving
it was,
Oklahoma.
I don't know. It was some guy like the great Chinese philosopher. Maybe
Karl Marx.
No, I think he was from Idaho.
Oh, okay.
Looking backwards.
Yeah. Kung Fu, I think it was.
David Carradine.
Maybe it was David Carradine. Yeah.
Or was that Kill Bill?
Maybe.
So why are all the games so bad this week? Ugh. I hate when they schedule stuff like this. You know, and how the on the TV they always brag about, we used AI to help us pick the games for this season. Yeah. A lot of these weeks have been horrible. So AI is not ready to write stories for Sports Illustrated. And AI is not ready to pick games. Did I miss any good games, or was there anything in there that we should have talked about? I mean, did we need to talk about the Detroit Lions going to play the Saints? I didn't.
No, not
I'm,
really.
I'm curious to see if the Patriots tank against the Chargers.
Not unless you think Jared Goff's going to have a third straight bad game.
Yeah, well, okay. Back to what Ralph is saying, though. Patriots and the Chargers ain't great. The Patriots are capable of actually winning that game.
Right. So do they tank? I think they will.
But it's not a give me. So if they lose, it doesn't make the tank more obvious.
Wait, are the Patriots capable of winning that game?
I think they're favored.
They've been shut out twice this year.
I think they're capable, but they're tanking.
I don't think. Look, the Chargers are very bad defensively. I don't think there's anything that the Patriots do offensively that makes them good enough to score more points than the Chargers.
It's going to be
that offense has been horrible.
I don't think this makes anything more obvious. Did the Panthers and the Patriots play each other? Because if the Patriots
maybe
lose to the Panthers, now people should be up on Chargers, right?
No, they didn't play.
Do they play at all? Probably not.
No, they don't.
That'd be the only true test. You know,
I mean, the Patriots have a top 10 defense, so I'm just curious to see what happens against that San Diego offense that's doing nothing.
You think that defense is enough for the Patriots to beat the Chargers?
No, I mean,
if they wanted to.
I think maybe if they wanted to. I think they're going to tank, though. There's no way they win.
No, I think it's an expert tank by Bill Belichick. 100%.
They have the 31st ranked offense in football, the Patriots.
Oh, look who's joining us.
That's 4 spots behind the Panthers.
Rosalie Michaels has jumped on the Zoom chat, and she'll be on the air with us here very shortly. She looks like she's ready to go to a fancy schmancy kind of dinner or something there.
I feel underdressed now.
You're always underdressed.
No, I really feel underdressed. My goodness. My earrings on.
Ralph, did you just say you're in your underdress?
No, I need to put a dress on, though. My goodness.
Did you say you're putting a dress on now?
I might need to.
Huh.
We support your life decisions. You do whatever you need to do, man. When we come back, Rosalie Michaels will be answering fantasy football questions. It's the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
One of the most common questions people ask is if they can still afford to retire on $1 million or $2 million anymore. With stocks near all-time highs and bonds at all-time lows, it's actually a great question. 2008 taught millions of retiring engineers, teachers, and other professionals a costly lesson that years of market gains can be wiped out in just weeks of market losses. Not a problem if you're 30 years old with a few decades to make it back, but not if you are in retirement or almost there. I like to follow the 30-50-70 rule. The closer you are to 50 or 70, then at least 30 to 50% of your money should be kept safe at all times, like in an uncapped, principal secure, next generation annuity. Come and see why.
Call leading annuity authority Steve Jurich now at 480-902-3333. Guarantees rely on the financial strength of the insurer, so compare with Steve. Call 480-902-3333 and visit iqannuity.com.
Hey everybody, Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. You know, the Lund Mortgage Team has been doing their thing for over 2 decades in the Valley, helping thousands of people in Arizona save money on their loans, get the best rate. They're mortgage brokers. They can shop it around for you. And now more than ever, it is so important to have a mortgage professional that's been around, that's seen the high rates, low rates, everything in between, because look, there's no sugarcoating what's going on right now. The rates are higher. However, the supply and demand, the whole how many houses are for sale in Arizona and what's going on, it's gone in favor of the buyer now. So if you're going to buy a new home, it is important to go and get that rate. Whatever that rate is, it's not going to be your forever rate. That's important to think about. So lock it in, get the house of your dreams, and move on. But let the people at the Lund Mortgage team do their job. All the heavy lifting from start to finish. They'll find you the best rate out there. Call 623-875-9940, 623-875-9940, or online, lundmortgage.com.
Will Shakespeare here. Back in my day, I invented over 1,700 slang words like swagger, bedazzled, and my personal favorite, besmirch. But even I have trouble understanding slang words like yeet or bougie or
this is fire.
Actually, it is extremely smooth Shakespeare vodka.
Okay, boomer.
See what I mean? But there is one word that describes the pure quadruple distilled spirit crafted from an 8th century Polish recipe the first time you try it.
So lit.
I couldn't have said it better myself. Shakespeare vodka. So lit.
Turning my pain into purpose is pretty much what I have done to start this foundation.
In August 2020, after the death of George Floyd, Bridget Floyd and other family members established the George Floyd Memorial Foundation in support of the Black community.
It's going to take more than just us as a foundation. It's going to take the community, the world, to make a change.
Fight for racial justice for the Black community. Learn how at lovehasnolabels.com. Brought to you by Love Has No Labels and the Ad Council.
KQFN Tempe. Also transmitting on K25CD Phoenix at 99.3 FM and K24EU Fountain Hills at 95.9 FM.
It's time for the third
hour. All right, people, settle down because it's time. Time for what?
Showtime.
When does it start?
Right now. 3, 2, 1.
Let's get on with the show. Let's do it.
All right, everybody, it's 5 o'clock here on the Daily Blender. Your good friend, radio pal, Jeffrey O'Brien, alongside Randy White. We got Keon Rose in the control room. Ralph from Harmon Solar is with us, but look, so is fantasy girl Rosalie Michael. She's here to answer your fantasy football questions. And of course, the text line is 888-368-1580. And we're broadcasting live in the Harmon Solar Studios in Scottsdale. Kiss the Cook is going to need something to towel off with. He said he was driving and just spat his milkshake on his windshield, saying Karl Marx is from Idaho. He says that is freaking funny. Swuzman is ready with his question. Let's see. Whistling Gerbil's ready with his. Fish Tank says, Keon, as long as we win this weekend, the Miami Dolphins, I got no problem if we set you down gently because you're a gentleman. You're a scholar. Good luck this weekend, my dude.
I don't think luck is really going to factor into this game even remotely. But look, I hope you only win by 20 instead of 35.
That's kind of you. Historian says, aside from the offense, defense, and special teams, Cardinals are doing okay. Yeah. See, it's always good just to find a little. You got to find that silver lining right there.
There you go. That's the ticket right there.
All right. So Rosalie Michaels, how are you?
I'm good, but I'm gonna disagree with that last text. Cardinals are not doing okay. When Zach Ertz up and leaves, there's a problem going on, and I don't like it. It makes me unhappy. I love Zach Ertz. I think he's a great player. I think he's great for like team morale. And Zach Ertz getting up and gone, that worries me. It worries me
Maybe the problem is with Zach. Okay, do you ever think of that? Maybe it's not him. It's you.
You hush your mouth. No, Zach is fine. Zach is fine. He's just fine. So
I don't think we're going to spend a whole lot of time with our fantasy football questions because since I whooped your ass, you're probably not going to help me this week. And Randy's going to whip my. He's going to whip my butt. I don't want to
chance of that happening.
I don't want to ask his questions. No, you get about 150 every week. I get about 100 every week. I just happen to have the week where I happen to have more than Rosalie. It wasn't like I went out there and stumped her. We're both auto draft babies. Okay. We're like, I remember they used to have there's the crack baby there and there's the AIDS baby there. Well, that's us in fantasy football right now. So, because we auto drafted, we're the auto draft babies.
My players absolutely did not show up. I mean, it was just bad and pitiful. But this week is going to be hard for people and probably not a lot of questions simply because there's not a lot to choose from this week with all the buys going on. So
that is true. The buys this week are Baltimore, Buffalo, Chicago, Vegas, Minnesota, and Giants. There's a lot of important players who are not going to be there this week. What do you do? What do you even do? Just pray?
Well, it's it's a matter of, this is one of those weeks that hopefully, your players that are not, like in the Blender League, I have 4 starters on bye this week. Wow. 4.
Bye, Mageddon.
So it's my week is looking pretty bad, but sometimes those are the weeks you get really lucky on, and some people really step up and deliver. So hopefully you've got a decent bench to and they've got good matchups for you.
I just want to say thank you for the 2-year sweep that I've been able to pull off on you. Thank you.
I know. It's just, you are my Achilles heel. I'm sure you hear that all the time.
Well, I've explained that over the last 10 years that Rosalie had my number for most of this time.
That's true.
And then she actually started floating this story that she was undefeated against me, and I believed it for how many years, till I accidentally went back and looked and found, hey, that's not true. I actually had a win 5 or 6 years ago.
Accidentally went back and looked.
But as soon as I saw that, it cleared my chakra and I started to win. You just kept perpetrating this fraud, and I believed it. So now
I gotta get the fraud going again so I can start beating you.
Now somehow we need to end up in those playoffs, and we're getting close. So every game and every point counts. I don't have any fantasy football questions this week, because, like you said, your team is what your team is. But I gotta say, one of the things I am the most happy about is that I rejected all trade requests for Zach Moss, because that is going to come in handy. Because Jonathan Taylor going out with a thumb surgery.
I looked, I was like, oh, did Jeffrey ever get rid of Moss? And I'm like, nope, he sure didn't. He held on to that boy with both hands like this.
I would have dropped anybody and everybody before I did that. So outside of that, I've pretty much got my lineup set. Randy was saying he didn't have any questions, but he does have a juggernaut team. He just has had a bad run of luck, and it's dropped him down into 9th place.
How about
Kyron last week? And I still lost by 5 points.
I know. I looked at your lineup. I was like, oh man, that was a tough loss for you. But Kyron delivered, more than delivered.
Yeah.
So.
Well, with the Mageddon, depending on which side of it you're on, some people might make some progress this week, winning some matchups against people on bye weeks. So
very, very true.
So I guess Randy and I are going to be good. How about you, Keon? You got any fantasy football questions for Fantasy Girl Rosalie Michaels?
Yeah, I do have a couple. First of all, Dallas Goedert, is he worth playing? He's walking into a bad matchup. He hasn't played in like 2 weeks, 3 weeks, whatever it is.
And he's still not practicing. And it is a bad matchup against San Fran. They let up the 4th least amount of fantasy points to tight ends. They let up the least amount of points to opposing offenses. Now, they are playing Philly, right? Philly knows how to score some points, but Philly has been kind of interesting to me. Their record notwithstanding, I feel like they're just kind of eking by somehow, right? Just like all of a sudden they're like, they look like they're going to lose. And then they're like, well, no, never mind. We're going to win anyway. So they find ways to win, which I love that about them. But this is a tough matchup for them. But Goddard, again, did not practice. So if you're going to be looking for another option out there. So, if you've got Freiermuth still available, he's really coming on strong right now. That's a good tight end to look for. He's probably, after last week, he was the #1 tight end in the league last week. So he's probably out of your league at this point. But if he's still there, certainly, scoop him up. He's good to scoop up. Otherwise, Juwan Johnson down in New Orleans, he gets a lot of action. Olave is limited again. Michael Thomas is gone. Rashid Shaheed is also limited. So Derek Carr may be looking for somebody to throw to other than, the usual suspects out there. So Juwan Johnson's a good flyer as well.
Okay.
All right.
Just one last question.
Oh, okay.
Sure.
Do I just wave the white flag and just admit that I can't start Cooper Kupp? Like I can't. Like, it's been
right.
Every single week. It's like he has to break out eventually, and then it's just another 5-point game. It's just another 5-point game, and I'm looking at Jacoby Myers on my bench, and he's not playing great, but he's better than Cooper Kupp.
He's scoring points.
I lost the game by 5 points, and I could have just played Jacoby Myers instead of Cooper Kupp. I would have been happy. But putting that to the side, can I play him at all, or should I just put any other human being in that spot?
The thing is that the hard part is that we know that as soon as you bench him, he's going to have that 25 point game.
Yeah.
That's just the way the fantasy gods work. So, could you, I mean, obviously you're not going to, put Jacoby Myers in there this week. So there's that decision you don't have to make. But I mean, they're going against Cleveland. Cleveland gives up the least amount of fantasy points to the wide receiver position. They give up the least amount of passing yards to opposing offenses. It's not pretty. And I don't know that it's necessarily going to be a high scoring game either. DTR is still in the concussion protocol, which means Flacco may start on Cleveland's side of the ball. So do we expect a lot of points out of this game? No, I think they just keep giving it to Kyren because that works, and so that's a tough one. I may bench Cooper Kupp this week as well. So if you've got a good option that at least has a good matchup, who else you got? What are your other choices there?
So many bye weeks. So I've got Antonio Gibson, or I'm stuck with Cooper Kupp.
Okay. I actually don't hate the Antonio Gibson thing. It is a tough matchup against Miami. I mean, but I do think that it's going to be a high scoring game, and we're seeing Gibson get a little bit more involved in the passing game as well. So, I mean, it's risky. But let's put it this way, Keon. We need to risk it for the biscuit kind of situation.
That's fair.
So it's a risky thing, and like I said, as soon as you bench Cooper Kupp, but I mean, you look at those numbers against Cleveland, and it's
horrifying. Yeah.
And the fact that Cooper Kupp, I mean, he had 5 targets last week, 1 target the week before that. So the 5 targets, he still was, what is it? Let me look here real quick. I think he was the 3rd least targeted on the team for last week in week 12. Yeah.
Okay, on Gibson, maybe 8 points.
Yeah,
I'll take
but
the
you know
8.
what?
If I had the 8 last week, I would have won.
That's a good point.
I would have won.
Cooper Kupp is getting.
Like
so
all these little points are mattering to me right now.
Look at it this way. So Cooper Kupp had 5 targets last week, 1 target the week before. Antonio Gibson last week, 4 targets. So he had 1 less target than Cooper Kupp last week. And he's got a better matchup.
Sobering.
It's not great, but it's better.
It's better. All right.
They are throwing the ball a lot in
I'll
Washington.
roll with the trend on that one.
It's you know what? It's risky, but you know what? It's one of those things where you're like, I got to take a shot. So just like Hamilton.
I appreciate it.
It's calling him Russ Wilson. It's Ralph's turn to take a shot and ask his fantasy football question.
Again, my team's on bye, so it's already dictated. And of course, I get to play Thundar, who's the number 1 team in our league, so that's going to be fun. I'm gonna get murdered.
I came close to beating him. You've got a better team than I've got.
Yeah, but if you look at his lineup and what I'm stuck with because of the bye week, there's not much.
Because of the buys. Yeah. You're just like, you know what? I'm not even going to look. I'm just going to set it. And
I'm looking, and now I'm laughing.
Happen.
Yeah, I don't have a chance. So
wow, that was like the first bye week for me was like this.
Yeah, so I'm done.
You got Tyler Lockett on your bench?
Oh well, Lockett is not. I don't blame him. I mean,
he's been bad lately. I thought he was doing well.
He's not healthy.
Well, no, and the matchup against Dallas is terrible. I mean, they will
got
have to throw
Seattle's
the ball a lot.
defense on your bench.
Look, we
Seattle's
all know
defense
Seattle's going to win tonight.
You should have to play that defense, Ralph.
I'm not really sure Seattle's going to win tonight. We all know this.
Because he's saying that he thinks that the Seahawks will win the game
They will.
against the Cowboys.
Straight up. I played money line.
Okay.
They're going to win.
I'm just saying you should have to play that defense.
Don't you get on me too.
Well, Ralph, I
Are
don't
you
know if you know
talking
this or not, but she is a Cowboys fan.
Is she?
Yes, I am.
Well, everybody
I
has their
am
faults. That's okay.
I'm a huge Cowboys fan. Yeah, that's been my number one team.
That says a lot.
5 years old, Dallas Cowboys, became a fan.
Hmm.
Of course, I love the Cardinals now too, but the Cowboys are my OG. So,
That's your OG.
yep, my OG.
Yeah. Oh
But,
God.
Yeah. There's no way Seahawks.
No way,
Hey,
huh?
you know-
Wow. Okay.
No
we'll
way
see. We'll
Seahawks
see.
win this game.
All right.
If he had any money left, you could bet him, but he won't bet anybody because he already did his $20.
Yeah,
So
money
Oh,
and
he
the
did?
money line.
Hey, Ralph, I will take a beautiful Dallas Cowboys wine glass if Cowboys beat Seattle.
Wow. Would you? I'd break it.
you get a box of like.
I'll send you a broken one. No problem.
Broken glass.
All right. Well, if nobody else has any more fantasy football questions, I think we should go ahead and go to the text line, right? Let's do that. 888-368-1580. And Whistling Gerbil has been waiting all day to ask you this question. Says, I have no quarterback. Lamar is on a bye. Should I play Browning or trade Javonte Williams for Trevor Lawrence? It's must win, but play the guy I'm trading with next week to get in the playoffs.
Yeah, I would definitely take Trevor Lawrence for Javonte Williams. Did you say? I mean,
I think
it
he'd
depends
give
on
up Javonte Williams
Yeah,
to get Trevor
that's
Lawrence.
what it sounds like. That's what it sounds like. Yeah, I mean, I think that Trevor Lawrence will have a good game this week. It depends on who else you've got at running back. So if Javonte Williams is your RB1, then no, I would try to scour the waiver wire and try to find a QB with a good matchup that's worth playing. You know, like I said, Flacco's available. Flacco's playing. So.
Oh, you're so mean.
Just kidding. Don't get Flacco. Do not do that. That's just a joke. If somebody doesn't know. But Bailey Zappi against the Chargers this week.
Oh,
could
stop
be
it. Stop
no,
it.
it's not pretty. Again, it's not pretty. But if you're having to
8 points.
scour the waiver wire and looking for something that's going to be a decent matchup, that somebody that doesn't have somebody already, you know, then yeah, you know, another good, you know, could be not horrible choice for you is Gardner Minshew. I thought about benching Herbert last week for Minshew. I didn't do it. I just couldn't do it. And you know what? Would have had more points out of Minshew than I got out of Herbert. So Minshew is not a bad choice either. But so I don't mind the trade as long as, you know, he's not your RB1.
I like how Rosalie Michaels looked at your fantasy football question like a mom looks like a kid's horrible drawing they bring home from school. Like, oh, that's really, yeah, look at that. Look at that. That's, yeah.
I don't think I sound like that, but okay.
Swazman says, Rosalie, Zach Moss, Devin Singletary, or DeAndre Hopkins in the flex position. Which would you prefer?
I think you got to go Singletary there. You know, they're going against Denver. Even with Dameon Pierce back, it's true. It's just clear that they trust Singletary. Denver gives up the most fantasy points to the running back position. You know, it's the most rushing yards to opposing offenses. So Moss is good now that he's going to be the workhorse back. You know that he's going to be involved in the passing game as well. But the matchup's not as good. And with Schultz not practicing, Dalton Schultz is not practicing for Houston. Tank Dell was limited. Noah Brown limited again. So the receiving options might be limited there in Houston, and you know they're going to throw it a lot. So I like Singletary there.
Swave Dave says, Rosalie, Rashee Rice, or Nico Collins?
Oh, well, Nico, definitely. Rashee Rice, I really like a lot. I love him, but like I said, I just listed all those pass catchers that were limited, and Nico just had a monster game. He's back in the mix again. If Tank Dell is not good to go, Nico's just going to have a field day. So I love Rashi, but the matchup against Green Bay isn't awesome. I don't expect that they're going to be scoring as many touchdowns. So I'll go Nico over Rashi.
Pinocchio says, Rosalie, Zappy, lay off the cold medicine. That's Randy on the cold medicine. But
this is a desperation week, my friend. It is a desperation week. So, yes, it's not pretty. I said it's not pretty, but the matchup is. So there.
All right. So we got a whole bunch of questions sitting here on the text line waiting to be asked. We will get right to it on the rapid fire when we come back. It's Rosalie Michaels, your fantasy girl, answering your fantasy football questions on the Daily Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic.
Scott Graham here from Westwood One. Coming up in Thursday primetime, the 8-3 Cowboys host the 6-5 Seahawks. Dallas is on a 13-game home winning streak led by Dak Prescott on offense and Deron Bland on defense. Now they face Pete Carroll's Seattle team that needs to break a 2-game losing streak. Join us on air and on the free live stream sponsored by AutoZone on Thursday Night Football.
Right here on 1580 The Fanatic.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who specialize in saving the day and for the ones who've mastered the art of keeping business moving. We offer industrial-grade supplies for every industry with same-day pickup and next-day delivery on most orders, all backed by real people ready to help. So you can get the right answers and products right when you need them. Call quickgrainger.com or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
Wendy's Peppermint Frosty and Frosty Cream Cold Brew make the perfect gift for anyone in your life, especially for you. Yeah, this year you're sitting on your own lap and getting yourself what you want. Finally. And now every day this season, unlock 20% off your total when you get any small, medium, or large Frosty in the Wendy's app. So order something from your own wish list this year.
Limited time only. Participating U.S. Wendy's with app offer and registration. Applies to menu items only. Taxes and fees excluded.
With all the school supplies your child will need over the years, it can be easy to overlook the most important one of all, money, which is a good reason to open an AZ 529 education savings plan. Whether you invest $15 or $150 a month, your money grows tax-free. By the time your little one is ready for college, vocational school, or workforce training, they'll have all the savings they need to get the job of their dreams. Visit az529.gov to get started.
This message is sponsored by the Office of the Arizona State Treasurer.
Hey everybody, it's Mark Asher back to tell you about my great friends over at the Lund Mortgage Team. For years, I've been telling you about refinancing, new home loans, all the great stuff that the Lund Mortgage Team can help you with from start to finish. Now, things have gotten a little crazy, right? The rates were bouncing all over the place. Now they're officially higher than they've been in a long time. And now more than ever, I think it's important to have a mortgage professional that has been there, done that. Any Yahoo can sell you a mortgage when it's 2.75%. Those people are going away. The real professionals are the ones that are staying in business and helping their clients through this kind of tough time out there as far as mortgage rates are concerned. Those people are the Lund Mortgage Team. Matt Oliver, Lisa Lund, they've owned this team for a long time, over 2 decades in the Valley. They are the best in the business, and they will walk you through the process, whether it's refinancing now or probably more importantly, a new home loan. Let them do all the heavy lifting for you. Call today, 623-875-9940. That's 623-875-9940 or online, lundmortgage.com.
Hey, Jeffrey O'Brien here. And listen, a lot of us play fantasy football this time of year, and it's fun. But what you should be playing is fantasy electric bills. What's that? It's where you get with Harman Solar, and they save you over 80% off your electric bill every month. Then, each time you open up that bill, you're going to feel like you just won a championship. Call Harman Solar today. Get a free estimate. 800-281-3189. That's 800-281-3189 or go to harmansolar.com.
Grand Canyon University basketball is back for another exciting season. After advancing to March Madness in 2 of his 3 seasons as the head coach, Bryce Drew brings a team to the court this season, picked to win the conference once again, and led by first-team All-WAC selection Gabe McLaughlin and WAC preseason Player of the Year Ray Harrison. Check out the schedule at gculopes.com to find matchups with San Francisco, DePaul, Liberty, and last year's national championship runner-up, the San Diego State Aztecs. Join me, Michael Potter, and Lopes insider Paul Coro all season long right here on The Fanatic, the home of Lopes basketball.
Today, Blender here on 1580 The Fanatic, and Rosalie Michaels, our fantasy girl, is all fancy schmancy up for today. I I think she's probably going to a party, but I'd like to think maybe she dressed up for us. I don't know. But we got to get right to these questions because there are a lot, and I'd hate to leave somebody behind. Fubar 1000 says, howdy, Ferguson or Kittle?
Yeah, it's hard to say to sit George Kittle, and I'm not going to do it. Ferguson has been getting a lot of action, and so you love him. And I just said how much I love the Cowboys versus Seattle tonight. But you know what? Philly gives up the 11th most fantasy points to the tight end position. And Kittle, it just feels like that San Fran Philly game is a game where Kittle is going to shine. Whereas against Seattle, Seattle's actually pretty good against the tight end. So I'm going Kittle over Ferguson.
Screaming Eagles is happy Thursday. Seems like most of my team's in a bye, but I got a question. Who do you like better, Romeo Doubs or Curtis Samuel? Thank you very much.
Dobbs or Samuel? I don't trust the passing game except for Christian Watson in Green Bay. So hard to say that. So I'm going Curtis Samuel over that. And yeah, it's hard to trust the Washington passing game, but they're actually throwing the ball a lot, and they actually have the 9th most passing yards in the league. So I'm gonna go Samuel there.
Fecal Miss says non-PPR flex: McLaurin, D-Hop, Deontay Johnson, or James Conner.
McLaurin.
Yeah, McLaurin, D-Hop, Johnson, or Conner.
Johnson is questionable. He did not practice again, so just keep an eye on him. That I do like him. He's getting a lot of action. Connor just can't trust AZ right now. Just cannot trust the Cardinals in terms of scoring. So I think I'm going to go McLaurin. It's hard to sit D-Hop though.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it really is hard to sit D-Hop. He is a superstar, and there are at times, he's had some not great games, but he's had some really great games. I'm going to go D-Hop here, but I like McLaurin as well.
Oaktown Destroyer hopes we're having a good week. Randy, hope you feel better. Says Rosalie, I hope you're well. Tyler Boyd or Jalen Guyton for the flex?
Boyd. I'll go Boyd there.
Fifth letter says Charbonnet tonight or Williams against Houston?
Charbonnet tonight or Williams against Houston? I'm going Williams.
Mr. Pringle says, Rosalie, should I start Patrick Mahomes, Lamar Jackson, or Tua Tagovailoa at quarterback? How do you have all three of those quarterbacks?
Wait, Mahomes,
Jackson, or Tagovailoa?
Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Lamar.
He's on a bye.
Oh, he's just bragging. You're full of crap, Pringle. I'm moving on.
Is that what he's saying? Okay.
Historian says, is Amari Cooper worth playing? Yeah, he's sitting on my bench right now.
Actually, I do like Amari Cooper. It's hard because, like I said, the quarterback may not be in there, so it may be Flacco. So Amari is worth starting. If Flacco starts, you know how it is when a new QB comes in, you don't know which person he's going to target the most. So Amari is worth starting. It just depends on who else you got there.
Cliff Dingleberry says Cup or Kirk.
I hate sitting Cooper Kupp. We already went through this, but I do like Kirk. I do like the matchup. I know that he's getting a lot of targets. So I'm going to go Kirk over Kupp.
T-Licious says Baker or Howell.
Baker or Howell? I'm going Howell. I like Sam better than Baker.
Chief Skull says, in my quest to stay out of the basement, thinky wheel. Oh, brother. This is a bad time for the text line to start acting up. Chief Skull, I'll try to come back to you. Here it is. He says Pitts or Conklin. Pitts for Atlanta or Conklin for the Jets?
Yeah, it's Pitts for Atlanta is who I'm going with there. Conklin with the Jets, I want to like him. The matchup is not terrible because the Atlanta does give up the 5th most fantasy points to the wide receiver position. I just don't know that he's going to get enough action. I think it's all Garrett Wilson over there. So I'm going to go Pitts over Conklin.
Shooter McGavin says he needs 2 of the 3: Kamara, Zach Moss, or Thinky Wheel. Thinky Wheel. I don't know who the third name is. I can only see the preview.
I would start that Thinky Wheel. Seems pretty unstoppable.
Yeah, yeah, I know, right?
So sorry.
Going up. It's like, I'm here. This is where I'm at.
All
Love
right,
it.
between here it is. Oh crap! It didn't go to it. Yeah,
It moved off of it.
yeah. I can't open text now. I guess people have crashed the text line. But Kamara or Zach Moss.
I'm going Kamara there.
All right. I don't know who the was. Oh, Javonte Williams.
Oh, it's still Kamara.
If I can see it, I'll read it. Dick Wister says Mike Evans or Olave.
Evans. Olave is limited, so go Evans there.
T-Bone says Brock Purdy or Sam Howell.
Purdy.
Gamecock says drop Algier for Keaton Mitchell, maybe.
No, you know what? Algier, I know that it's Bijan's backfield, but Algier's getting a lot of action. So I don't know that I would drop him for who did he say?
Algier?
Algier he said drop Algier for somebody.
Thinky
I
Wheel.
wouldn't drop
Thinky
Algier.
Wheel. Thinky Wheel. Sorry, guys. And that's it. Rosalie Michaels. Find her on Twitter at Rosalie Michaels. See you guys tomorrow, 3 p.m. Bye-bye.
This is Brad Musburger, and you're